everyone, and welcome at the Women's Speed Chess Championship 2023, powered by Julius Baer. Here I am, your host, Women Grandmaster Kateryna Lagno, and I am with chess expert Grandmaster Arthur's Nations. Hello, Arthur. How are you today?
Hey, Kitty, you look lovely today, and it's of course an absolute pleasure to be back with yet another Chess.com Speeches Championship event. Already, as dear viewers, you already know that the overall Open tournament is finished. EM, not the GM, Speeches Championship is finished, but we still have a very, very interesting tournament to follow, and that is the Women's Speeches Championship. And today actually is the day one of the qualifying stage.
That's right, Arthurs. We already know the names of these six participants who are invited in the finals of the Women's Speed Chess Championship 2023. And we have here big names. We have Kateryna Lagno, who won the previous Women's Speed Chess Championship 2022. We also have Yufan, also the winner of one of these Speed Chess Championship. And there is anyone who catches your eyes out of these lineups we have here?
I mean, these are definitely legendary names. I mean, Lagno, the last year's winner, Ho Yifan, who won the event in 2021. Also, I think Ho Yifan is a very interesting player to follow because she is sort of semi-retired since 2018, but she is playing from time to time, especially in the highest level online tournaments. Right now, she is a professor at Shenzhen University. So in case some of the viewers didn't know what she's doing right now. And of course, Alexandra Kosteniuk, right? I mean, the chess queen, one of the most famous female chess personalities. And I'm, of course, a big fan of her. Also, a great joy to watch how she's playing. Valentina Gunina, one of the greatest experts when it comes to accelerated time controls. Also, Harika Dranavalli, the runner-up of the 2021 edition when she lost in a nail-biting finish against Ho Yifan. And Vaishali Ramesh Babu, I mean, the sister of Prague, but I guess now the people are not really referring to Vaishali as the sister of Prague, but as the recent winner of the FIDE Grand Swiss Women Tournament.
That's right. I agree with that, Arthurs, actually. Now Vaishali is Vaishali, and we know her by her name. She's very close to get her GM title. And we do have here two empty spaces, and we do have this place for the qualifiers from this tournament that we are having right now. Arthurs, it's time to take a look at the format of the Swiss tournament. So today we're gonna have a Swiss tournament. Tomorrow we're gonna have a knockout system. Today 14 rounds to go to battle it out to go to the top 8. What is the time control? That's very interesting, actually.
Yeah, time control is 3 minutes plus 1 second, and this means it's good news for everybody who is concerned about flagging, right? Of course, when you're playing online, flagging, running out of time is a big issue. Plus 1 second is going to make sure that these occasions happen almost never, right? So 14 rounds, and also there will be several breaks after round 4, after round 8, and after round 12 for some fair play checks.
Right, and we have here the prize fund as well, $2,500 total prize fund from the winner, and the runner-upper will get $500. And of course, the qualification to the main tournament, we do have prizes for 3rd to 8th places as well. So today there will be a lot of chess games, 14 rounds, and also quite nice prizes for the women who will play and who will win the most all the games. And Arthurs, we are going to see very soon the standings, the players that they are joining this tournament. But I think you can see some of the players, some of the top players. Can you name like at least 3 players by the rating who already has joined and who will start to fight for the top 2?
Right, I think the games are about to start, but the top players I saw, obviously, there are Polina Shabalova, right? We are going to talk about her playing in a moment because as soon as the games get on the screen, we are going to follow and tell something about her. Also, Alina Bivol, Karina Bartsova, Tatev Abrahamyan, Lua Nurmanova, Alexandra Maltsevskaya, and there's probably more players because I didn't really check who joined in the last minutes. And most of the players are over 26, most of the leading players are over 2600 rating here on Chess.com. So it's going to be really tough. So I'm going to try to see if I can get any games. Not yet. I'm not getting.
Yeah, we're gonna see the games in a second. It is 3 p.m. Central European time, and that's the start of the tournament. And one of the interviews I have listened that Vaishali announced that her next tournament is a Women's Fit Chess Championship. She is getting ready for this. She's traveling from Isle of Man back to India to get ready and to compete for this event. And I remember one of the events she played last year. She played very, very nice event and almost qualified to the finals.
All right, so it's going to be really, really tough fight. By the way, speaking about one of the high-seeded players, Polina Shabalova, right? And I do believe that the games are about to pop up in a minute. She is a highly decorated player, a player with one Grandmaster norm, but most importantly, she recently won the EM or IM, not the GM, IM or EM, not the GM, Chess.com Speeches Championship by beating the famous Levi Rosman.
Oh, that's huge, actually.
in the final.
And probably she's the first female player who ever won this title. Is that true?
I think so. She was the first player, and since we started to talk about her, I think I could pull up her game in a moment.
We see that the game has been already started. 14 rounds. That's a lot of chess today.
Right. Okay, maybe let's start with a game of Alexandra Maltsevskaya against Jennifer Perez. Alexandra, again, is a very strong player from Russia, I believe. Recently, she transferred to Poland.
Poland recently, and has been played like maybe even 2 years already for a Polish team.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, so what do we have here? Speaking about the opening phase, I'm pretty sure that Katie, you're going to agree with me, but when it comes to playing accelerated time control games, very often the players, they try to play out very easy systems, right? So is this an easy system here you're seeing from the white's perspective, or it's something more principled?
I don't play that very often. So there are two type of players who choose the opening that is just designed for them for the blitz games and the rapid games, some like very special openings, and there are the players who are choosing the openings what they are very much familiar to, so they are comfortable to play with that, and it's just up to the taste of the chess player what they choose. But I do like this position for white. I see these light squares being weak on the king side. Do you think there will be some kind of checkmate threats?
Yeah, indeed. Now here after this move, Queen E2, white is definitely having some initiative. If I could draw some arrows here, Rook D1 was the threat with some discovered threats. Queen E4 also make a potential nice battery here, threatening with the checkmate on H7. But the thing is, as soon as you play Queen E4, black responds with Bishop F5, right? So also there might be ideas like Bishop takes on E5, Knight takes on E5. Actually, Knight H4. That's a bit surprise to me.
Ooh, Knight E4 now, Queen E4 now. Checkmate threat is on the board. Maybe black has to play G5 to attack the bishop and also guard H7 square. Two bishops versus bishop and the knight, but black has here a very nice move, knight to C5. I do like this move very much. Is there a bishop E5, by the way?
Yeah, bishop takes on E5. Look at that. That's a very, very nice idea. D takes on E5, Queen takes on E5 gives the check on the king, but I guess after bishop takes on E5, black could have responded with king G8, so that's why Maltsevskaya starts with Queen E3, and I think she is in trouble here because she's playing against Jennifer Perez. I don't know her, but she is a woman grandmaster, and it just again proves that anything can happen at this tournament.
anything can happen, and it's just the start of the tournament, and some of the players can even afford to lose the game or to make a draw because it's a long run. And also, Arthur's, the aim for each of the players is to qualify to the next stage, and this is the knockout. So you basically need to be in top 8. That's the aim
Yeah,
of all these
I
players.
think it's also very difficult, Katie, to start a tournament. You're nervous. I mean, you want to qualify for the event. You're the high seeded player, right? And I mean, sometimes you need to have some proper warm up. I'm not sure about you, Katie. How do you approach these tournaments? But when I'm usually playing before, what I try to do, play several blitz games, right? So that I feel in the rhythm. And I think this is very, very common in over the board blitz tournaments. So there's like a huge, gigantic open tournament to be held. And what everybody is doing, everybody, is playing some blitz before the tournament just to get in the rhythm, feel it, right? And I would imagine that most of the players definitely did it, because if you don't do it, I mean, your hands are a bit cold, you're not feeling the rhythm, then it could be quite difficult.
Yeah, you need practice, and I'm sure many of these participants who we have here, they have played yesterday or even today some of the training games. And here the queen on a7 has been dropped, and black kind of pushed to trade the queens, but rook gets very active here on the 7th rank, and this is already a very safe position for white.
All right. Yeah, rook takes on b6. Look out for a rook takes on d6 and bishop e5 threat. Okay, now it's not possible, but you need to watch out for this. White's game is a bit easier. White is down a pawn, but she has the threats. Rook takes on d6, bishop e5.
That's a threat.
Is definitely an idea.
Oh, wait, is that... Okay.
I think black just blundered this. There you go. And this is the position, Katie, that white can play forever. Of course, she's not going to trade the rooks. She's going to keep it going and going. Think about g4 here. g4, king g2, king g3, h4. Try to create some weaknesses.
All right. And what we can say about the increment of 1 second, that's not too much, right?
It's nothing. I mean, it's nothing. I mean, compared to the traditional +2 seconds over the board, +1 second, Katie, it's basically just enough to make a move. You can't really accumulate time. You can't think a lot, right? So it's different kind of beast compared to the 3+0, of course, where the flagging is a very, very important part of the game. Here, of course, you're sort of safer, but I mean, you don't really have a lot of time.
Yeah, that's true. We have the obstacle color bishop on the board, but the rooks are still out there, and some moves like g4 will take the f5, h5 squares from black's king, and then the pawn can be pushed, but white goes with h4 right away. And is there a checkmate threat somewhere?
Probably. I think she's thinking about something like king h3, g4, h5 idea, try to create mating next. a6 and g5, I don't like this move. She wants to create the pawn on g5 as a weakness, but I think when you're playing in time scramble, you want to create these mating threats, right? Still, I mean, black is not out of the danger here, so it's going to be very, very tough for black to hold this. By the way, speaking about any other results, there you go. That's a blunder mating 1 threat. Maltsevskaya wins.
Wow.
That's what happens in blitz, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, wow.
Alexandra Maltsevskaya won.
Oh, wow. That was tragic. That was very tragic.
that was tragic and very characteristic for online blitz. Let's just switch to one of the top games, which I have here, because most of the top boards that I'm scrolling through, I see that they are finished. Just to give you some heads up what has happened on the top boards, Polina Shevalova, she has managed to win against Somiya Shwamanatam in the first round. Also, one of the top-seeded players, Gulgrok Bekim Tokajonova from USA, she beat her opponent. I'm actually quite happy also to see Anna-Maya Kazaryan, our fellow Chess.com streamer. She made a small upset. I mean, if that's even an upset, I'm not really sure, because Anna is very strong. She beat one of the high-seeded players.
Yeah.
Alua Nurmanova.
Oh, wow. That's huge, actually. That's huge. That's a huge name. Some of our viewers might not know Alua, but I know her quite well. She's winning all the possible youth and junior championships, and she's like one of the hopes of Kazakhstan women team, which is becoming stronger and stronger every day.
All right, and just as we finished, I mean, the first round is over just like that, and that is the main difference, dear viewers, compared to over-the-board chess and online chess, because there's no need to wait, there's no need for arbiters to check what were the results, make the pairings, print them, put them on the wall. No, it's immediately game on. Action continues, and now we are going to follow the game of Shavalova playing against a player from Vietnam.
All right, and Artels, it's also very interesting that some of these players are from from around the world, and it might be for some of them early morning, for some of them a little bit late evening. So this is also sort of like interesting conditions for all these players that online chess tournaments always have.
Right, and I do understand that there is about to start the European Team Chess Championships, right? And some of the players might be en route to the playing venue, which I believe is in Serbia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
European
indeed.
Championship?
Yep.
That is in Zagreb. So that's Croatia.
Oh, my apologies. Okay, so I mixed up the countries. Right, anyway, so the tournament is about to start. And actually, when it comes to playing in online tournaments, I've seen players doing it from all kinds of locations. Daniil Dubov even has reportedly done it from an airport. Anyway, let's follow the game of Shavalova. She is, up to the date, the only winner, female winner of the EM, not the GM, Chess.com Speeches Championship, beating Levi Rosman in the final. Recently, Shavalova also was one of the participants of the Halloween mystery banter blitz. She was going with a username of Crazy Zombie. I'm not sure you viewers were following it. It was absolutely fun event, but Polina, she was quite unlucky because she lost in the very first round against the finalist Alexandru Botniak.
Yeah, that was a fun event actually I followed, and I was quite impressed by your artistic manners, Arthur. That was very impressive event, and I'm sure a lot of people enjoyed with that. But this opening is so slow for the blitz format, right? They are just moving around. I think they want to play a little bit safe game. The last move gives whites an advantage. Right now, when we can see, you don't need to ask Polina a second time. She's going for d4, she's attacking the center. And this structure of the pawns, d65, f6, they are somehow not right because the dark square bishop is just blocked out there.
Right, I mean, I just love how Polina plays here. This opening, she goes for the space advantage, knight g5, a beautiful move, anchoring the knight on e6, trading some major problems in black's position. Rook c1 is a threat, queen b3 is a great move again, queen on c8 doesn't do much, black was eyeballing the pawn on h3, now you can't do it, you have to go away. I would actually say that Shavalova here is simply strategically demolishing her opponent.
That's right, 96 has been played now, and this pawn on e6 is very unpleasant for black. Bishop from g2 is attacking the pawn on b7, and the pawn on d6 is just a background pawn that can be under the attack. And I do like this move d5, just solving some of the problems for black.
Yeah, and creating more problems, right? Because after bishop c5 and the knight on e7 now is pinned, and white is just threatening to take on e7, which I believe right now already is a move. And if the pawn on d5 is gone, so is the pawn on e4. I think that Shavalova here is going to spend something like 10 seconds because she has plenty of time on the clock. Look at this, Katie. I mean, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. She plays so fast.
That's plenty of time. She can get herself a coffee and enjoy the game.
All right, queen b3. Look at that. I mean, that's a move I'm slightly surprised to see. I think there was nothing wrong to grab the pawn, but okay, it's also a good move.
She wants to play maybe queen a3, queen b4 to hit the knight on e7 to increase the pressure. Maybe bishop e6, b6 is another threat she wants to play. Bishop b6, rook to c7.
Maybe rook d1 with bishop takes on e4. Probably she thinks that the black's position is going to collapse no matter what. Actually, now that I look at this, Katie, rook c to d1 is even better, indeed.
Right.
All right.
I love this position for white. You just control everything. There are so many weaknesses here in black's position. Somehow this move is not very much likable. Is that bishop b2 that black can play here? Bishop b2, queen b2, and rook c5?
I think it's a typical blitz move. Yeah, she blundered bishop takes on b2. Now she might regret this choice, but she tries to apply as much pressure as she can against her opponent. But I think she should just take on e7, take on d5, this pawn and the second pawn on e4. Now, yeah, rook takes on c5. I like this. It's a good practical choice because black thinks that she needs to keep the knight on e7 alive. Otherwise, this pressure on the long diagonal is so annoying. But white's threats are still there. Bishop takes on e4. Look at that.
Oh, now another pawn can be gone. Bishop d5 is on the board, and queen takes d5. e7 is a threat here. How black can stop that? I don't believe there is a way, and we have a resignation.
All right. Okay. So let's see who else we could follow. Maybe some of the top boards. I'm going to randomly select, let's say, board number 6. Maria Gevorgyan against Alina Bivel, because again, we don't have a lot of time to observe what's happening, compare, make a big decision. Action continues very, very quickly, plus 1 second. Situation changes very quickly. We already have plenty of results. And by the way, Anna-Maria Kazaryan again has won her game against higher-rated opponent, this time Dinara Wagner. Anna is on fire.
Oh, Dinara is a very strong chess player, actually. She has won the Women's Grand Prix, the final leg, and she even won some prize at the Aleph Man. And it's a very, very new power for German team, and she's actually working a lot lately for her chess and winning a lot of tournaments. And Arthur is something interesting about Maria Gevorgyan. She's a very good friend of mine, and she's traveling from Oman, where the amateur chess championship is happening, to Croatia, where she will play actually the European team championship. So I believe she's somewhere at the airport right now playing this tournament.
Yeah, dear viewers, maybe you can write in the chat, what is your craziest place you have ever played in an online competitive chess tournament, right? Could be really interesting to see. I think I've heard some of the craziest stories. It was maybe Danya, I think Danya Narodesky, who played once from a plane, right? So probably it's going to be quite difficult to beat that, right? So write your thoughts. Anyway, speaking about what's happening here in the game for Maria, I'm sorry, Katie, things are not going
Maria?
well.
The knight is gone.
I think it was actually the bishop, but the piece is gone. You're right.
Something is wrong. Ooh, two knights together with the rook. Maybe rook d2 is a threat now.
I mean, still white has chances, right? Because black has only one pawn on a6 left alive, unless there's going to be a mate. And I think it's going to be a mate. King g4, king f3 looks really good. No, king g6, that's the wrong direction. I think king g4, king f3 with rook g2 was a great idea. And now, just like that, this position is technically drawn. I mean, in a normal blitz game, of course, but everything can still happen here.
Okay, this can be equal, but the king is cut it from the first rank, from the second rank, so this is a little bit unpleasant for white still.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what's now the best course of defense here. Wait, that's a mate! That's a mate!
Oh, it's a mate in 2
Oh
moves.
my goodness, rook a2 is a mate on the board. That was so unfortunate. I mean, those knights, Kelly, they're very, very tricky.
The knights are very tricky. I had a feeling that this king was going to the direction, like in the edge of the board, and then to jump to the other board, because you just basically need to keep the king in the center when you're playing against the knight. But it's easier to commentate and judge the people than to play yourself. Indeed, and this is the round 3 already. We have Anna-Maria with black pieces.
It's very quick. You know, I have a feeling it's going to be just like that, over very quickly. Action continues super, super fast. So my suggestion is that, Teddy, we follow Alina Bivel against Anna-Maria Kazaryan, one of the Chess.com's most decorated female streamers. I have a feeling she's probably streaming right now. I'm not really sure if the rules allow or not. So she plays, what is this? Some Petrov, yeah? Or was it exchange French? Happened so quickly, I didn't even notice.
Exchange French, it is.
It's very Petrov-like looking position. All right, so this is actually, so that people don't forget, this is round 3. Yeah, round 3 out of 14 rounds there will be in total. Action continues very, very quickly. After round 4, we are going to have, I believe, our very first technical break, because most of the players will be checked for some fair play. Yeah. I do believe there's not going to be any issues, but still, you got to do them.
Yeah, I think I received once in my email, from my email, that I have to join some Zoom meeting to be checked.
So what are the questions? What are the questions, Kateryna? I mean, please reveal what is asked in
I
these
didn't
meetings.
join because I don't play these events. I usually stream. Today was just a random check, I guess.
All right, I got it.
Yeah, but I have been checked by Fair Play at the tournament. The game that I won against a very strong opponent, I think the most beautiful game. I sacrificed the queen, then I have been questioned for doing that. But yeah, anyway, it was just fine, and it's fine to know that you are safe. Actually, if the players are checked, it means that it's a fair play, and there's no anyone who uses some engine or any kind of help, but this looks actually quite equal position.
Well, it really depends, I guess. It is equal. There you go, knight e4. The big question is how changes the valuation of the position after d6 and e4, knight e5. Look at that. Alina Bivel here tries to sharpen up the position because after knight x and e5, d6 on e5, you can't take the pawn on e5 because the bishop on d7 is under attack. And here, Anna-Maja Kazarian has to make a very big choice. I think they're playing quite fast. It's still 2 minutes on the clock. But I mean, you gotta play fast.
Yeah,
in order to
play
succeed.
very fast. What do you think about this pawn on e4? Do you think this is going to be the target for white? Or maybe black can somehow start to push f5 and strengthen this pawn on, in the center?
I mean, visually, I like black because I'm thinking right now about knight x on e5, d8 on e5, bishop f5, followed by something like bishop g6, maybe make a window for the king, or the pawn h6. In the meantime, white is going to probably play very quickly rook e1, target the pawn on e4. But no, Anna decided to play bishop f5.
Is there g4
now, what
here?
about g4? Exactly. Now, what happens after g4? That's the million-dollar question here.
g4, the bishop is... Oh, we have knight g6 actually, and now the bishop on g6 is much safer. Rook e1 is not really attacking the pawn on e4, so I believe something like h6 or h5, h4 would be the move that black can consider here. And Arthur's, I'm not a big fan of the pawn on d4. Black actually starts to attack this pawn at some point.
Something like rook d8. I think it makes perfect sense, Katie. I think that since this is a blitz game, I would probably include something like h6 or h5, you know, just in case, to make sure I'm not missing any back rank issues. Because when you are playing a time scramble, right, sometimes in some lines you forget some tricky continuations and your king might be mated in some of them. So that's why h6 or h5, just in case, it's a good addition.
Queen to b4, just pinning everything on the file. Knight e4 would be a blunder out there, but now queen to e3. Still, knight e4 is not a threat, so h6 is the move that I would play here. Something like safe move. That's what Anna-Maja is playing for right now. Rook d8.
I like this move. Yeah, d5 is a great move. So what Alina here wants to do, she wants to trade those pawns, put the knight on d5, and then secure it with something like c4. And when you look at this position, the knight on d5 still looks like a much stronger piece than this bishop on g6. So probably Anna-Maja is not going to do it, but she already is in a serious time scramble. c5, she recognized the danger and moved past the pawn.
That's right, and after c5, now this pawn on d5 seems very, very nice. Rook to d1, supporting the pawn. Next moves can be d6 and d7, and somehow the bishop on g6 will be just out of the center. So c4, black is trying to make some changes here, but I believe d6 is the move here. White can just safely play. Rook d4 is another move here.
Yeah, rook d4, very, very nicely spotted, Katie there. I think d6 makes sense. Some combination with knight e5. Okay, rook d4, the practical move, just in case. Try to grab the pawn on c4. Probably black response with the b5. No, queen c5. That's a pawn sacrifice, offering to take the pawn with b takes on c4.
Arthur, there's also knight e4, but anyway, b takes c4 has been chosen here, and that makes also d5 pawn well guarded at this point. f5 move just guards the pawn on e4, but somehow it's getting worse and worse for black here.
But the 5 seconds, Katie, the 5 seconds, this is so little. I mean, it's only plus 1 second. I think that Anna-Maja right now is so unhappy about how she spent so much time on the critical decisions here. There you go, queen a5, responded very quickly. And this is a mistake? E3, what about E3?
E3, why not E3 too?
Just push it forward. It's going to be a race, no?
Yeah, d7 now. d7, rook to d8, and there will be something in that position. Rook to b5 hasn't been played.
2 seconds, 2 seconds for Black here. Black is thinking about something like f4 next, queen e5 takes care of the threat. And now White should be winning somehow. c5, c6, c7, I don't know.
Rook to d6, looking for the bishop on g6 somewhere.
And Black also is reminding that she has threats like e3, 2, e1. I would just play c5 here. c5, c6, sacrifice the queen just for fun. Probably not really responsible, but I don't know.
I love c5 because after that, okay, maybe White is actually just feeling here some threats. Maybe knight d1 here to attack the pawn and queen.
Knight e1 is a great move. h4, okay. e2, what about knight x on e2 here? Nothing really changes. Bishop h5, bishop f3, but it doesn't work. There's always going to be queen takes on f5 check. This is not a threat. It's protected by the knight. Now I think Anna Maya is collapsing here, and Alina Bivol is going to win this game. Somehow, Katie, we keep selecting the longest games of the round because every single other game continues longer.
This game was very crucial here, and you can see 6 players have 3 out of 3, but I believe more games are still in action, and we're gonna have more and more players. Arturs, can we see how many participants do we have at this point?
Yeah, I can do that. So in total, we have 68 players. 68 players because only Tata players can join.
Yeah,
right. That's the requirement. By the way, in the meantime, here we just followed the last moments of the game of Maria Yakimova beating Olga Matveyeva. All right, let's select another game. I think we already followed this Vietnamese player from the previous round. Actually, look at this. If I could switch to Tusa Prakasyan, I mean, that's the spouse of Hikaru Nakamura. She's also playing.
Right, she just played at Isle of Man and now joining this event as many other girls. So they're doing the same. So it's like every day is a chess day. And indeed, the Women's Pitch Chess Championship is the biggest online event for women.
All right, she's also a very strong woman grandmaster. You see, almost rated 2500. Clearly one of the favorites, hoping to qualify. Now, here Black is having an extra pawn. Probably better chances, I guess. Yeah, so it's all about the pawn race. Who is going to run faster? At the moment, Black does it simply a little bit better.
Yeah, a little bit better. The king is well centralized in here. And, I don't like this king to b5, but that's okay.
It's a theoretical draw, no?
It is a draw, but it's not easy to make the draw here.
I mean, this is going to be fun. So, C and A pawns usually, or H and F pawns, more commonly known. These are very famous theoretical drawn positions. Now here the white king is cut off. Black is once again winning, threatening here. Push the pawn forward. I don't like this last check, although now the white king is cut off. The last rank, and that's supposed to be a win for Black.
That is, and here Black can just play king to... Oh, I like this rook to d1, covering the d5.
Oh no, there goes the rook trade. Okay, that's it.
It's just a game over.
Yeah, I mean, White shouldn't have done that. I think that it was not really so clear how Black is going to capitalize. And Otusa wins, so congratulations. Let me see if I get any more games, but no. Round 4 is about to start. Maybe I could select one of the top boards. Alina Bivol against Alexandra Maltsevskaya, and then see how it goes. At the moment, there are 8 leaders with 3 points out of 3.
That's right. So after this round, the player's going to have just a 6-minute break before the start of 5th round. So it's very important to end the game in a positive way, in a positive result. Maybe win or draw can also work. So let's see how this game gonna go. We have Caro-Kann defense.
All right, so Caro-Kann defense, this 2 knights, variation, knight with x on e4. White sacrifices the pawn on d4, and Maltsevskaya says, bring it on, I'm gonna take it. You know, I don't really know, Kelly, is this a good strategy in online blitz? Because I totally get it. I mean, you want to take the pawn, it's very principled, but in online blitz or any blitz whatsoever, all you need to do is a simple to play position. Is this simple to play position for black?
No, because she took here some time to think about this move. Rook to d1, rook to d8 was a checkmate threat, and knight d7 seems to be the only move there to be played. But now queen is under attack, and knight can be actually captured.
No, it's very dangerous. I would never go here. I would never go here. I mean, there's all kinds of rook d7, queen f7 ideas, bishop f4, knight e6, or bishop d6 ideas. I mean, the pawn doesn't really matter. White has the initiative here. Although the bar says black is, completely fine here.
Yeah, because it's a computer. It sees a lot of moves here at this point. But like for instance, bishop e2, short castle. You have here a very pleasant position with white.
Absolutely. Yeah, even bishop e2. That's a great idea. Just continue development. And Alina instead is going to go for the direct attack. I think she's eyeballing for the d6 square, thinking about bishop d6 or knight e6. Queen a5 check is a good move. Give black the tempo.
That's right. But now somehow black has to take care of the king side. There are like these two pawns on the way, and black can castle that easily. Knight f6. Knight d6 is the move that I would consider here to play. Bishop d6 and bishop d6, stopping black to castle on the short side. But there's also castle on the long side, Arthur's in that position.
I already see a theme. For example, okay, we are not going to get it. I was thinking about knight e6, bishop d6, black castles long, and in some lines we sacrifice the queen, deliver mate on a6. Okay, never happening here, so...
That was
right,
a beautiful
let's trade it. Yeah, that was indeed beautiful. Out of 6, black seems to be in control. I don't like Alina's some of the choices. Now it seems white's attack is gone. Still h4, g4, g5. It's still possible.
Well, white has to castle at this point. There's also rook to e5 move. She stopped for a moment. Maybe she's considering this move to attack the queen. Oh, she's going g4 right away without any castle. Ooh.
I mean... yeah, I guess you gotta do it.
Risky.
So, I mean, it is risky, but then again, if you castle short, I mean, white is simply down a pawn for no compensation. So, Alina Ball basically goes all in. She has to complicate the matters here. The idea is very simple: h4, h5, g6 somewhere, maybe king f1 if it's necessary. Put the king on g2 and try to again use the pieces you have here to conduct the attack. I'm not entirely sure I agree with the bar here. That's quite unclear.
But Arthur's knight b6 attacking the bishop and then g5 pawn is hanging. This can be a very good strategy in the blitz game. Actually, it can work out. Alina's choice.
You mean
here.
take the
She's
pawns,
one of
right?
the strong blitz players, but in classical chess, you never dare to play this.
So meaning a good strategy for blitz, what you're saying is that to take as many pawns as you can.
Oh yeah, but knight b6 and take the pawn on g5.
All right, it makes sense. It's a very responsible decision though, because after knight b6, bishop d3, bishop g5, you have to calculate queen h5. What happens then? There's a mate threat. There's rook g1. And that's what I believe Maltsevska is doing right now.
Yeah, she's calculating all the moves, but maybe that's too much actually to go for this after showing that line. Maybe that gonna help white to open up g file, and rook to g1 will also attack the bishop on that file. So
I'm also looking at some f5 ideas. Yeah, I mean, try to close this attack, but then again, maybe black should wait for bishop d3 still to happen. But I mean, 30 seconds. Clearly, black has to play faster. Engine marks rook d8 as a mistake. She should have done something else. I would just blitz out bishop d3. This is still very open game.
That's right. Actually, rook to d8, hoping that the knight will move away and trading the rook. h4 has been played already here from white side. This knight has to go somewhere, Arthur's, and maybe queen e5 check somewhere out there.
This was missed. Queen e5, bishop takes on h7.
No!
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I think that Alexandra, as soon as she played queen d5, she realized what she had done.
That's
such
what
a basic
happens.
trap. Oh my goodness. Okay, now white is completely winning. Bishop f4, h5, g6. Just continue the attack with the material advantage. Make sure there's no tricks.
Time
e5.
advantage as well here for white. 1 minute and 15 seconds. This is a huge comfort for white.
Absolutely. So I think here Bivol is going to win. This is actually one of the top fights between one of the highest seeded players in the tournament. So very, very important. I'm not really sure if these ratings really matter a lot because all depends on who is feeling on a hot streak that particular day. So I could easily see even somebody rated 2400 winning this event. Online chess is very unpredictable.
All right, still the game is on, and white still needs to find here the plan how to win this position. 13 seconds. It's not very promising here for black indeed. Maybe
I think that Alina, I think she relaxed too early here. She should have continued this direct attack. She probably believed, okay, I'm winning here, the game is over, but no, you still need to work. Queen d1, rook e7 threat, you can blunder this. And black parries it.
She saw that. b5, rook b7 now creates the pass pawn on the b file, can be another option. I like bishop c5 here, looking for some kind of threats on the back rank.
Queen f7, big threat, rook f5, black desperately defends and tries to activate the other rook. It's not easy for white. I think she needs this h5, g6 or h6 at some point.
I agree.
How the trade looks.
Something went wrong here for white. 2 seconds, she has to make a move and she traded the rooks.
Yeah, now white is completely winning.
How she's going to win this one with white?
Something like a4, a5, b6, a6. Sacrifice the pawn, push forward the a pawn. I think this is what's going to happen. So white's plan is pretty simple. Yeah, b6, a6, a7. The pawn on g3 doesn't matter. Of course, you can always play king g2. 20 seconds for Alina.
The pawn on c4 here. And activating the king, and b6 is the move that she's going for now.
I think actually what black is dreaming about getting some kind of a fortress carry. I mean, giving up the bishop for these 2 pawns, right? But, oh, black loses some time. But she already was lost.
Yeah, she was lost. She had second. I think she fight Alexandra Maltuskaya very well, but it was a hopeless position for her. The next game, we have Olga Giria here with black pieces against Anna who?
Shukman, I believe. She is, Olga Giria is one of the strongest female players from Russia, obviously. The former world and European youth champion. Highly valued member of the national team.
Ask me about that, Arthurs, because like we were always sharing first and second places, and it was up to the tie breaks only. Sharing the same points, but then the tie breaks was always decisive.
She shared the places with you.
Or I shared the place with her from this perspective.
So you had the worst tiebreak.
No, I won 1 year. 2007, I won over her.
Oh.
All right, you watch this one.
This I didn't know. I just pulled up this information. Look at that. All right, but in the meantime, Olga Giria won her game and very quickly browsing through the games. I don't see any running games anymore, and we are getting the results after round 4 here. We have 4 players with a perfect score. It's Gulru Begim Tokajonova, Alina Baval, Anastasia Bonaruk, and Team Kang from I believe Vietnam.
That's right, 4 players with the perfect score. And you guys, players are having right now the break for 6 minutes, and we're going to take also the break. We'll be back in few minutes, and all the action gonna start in the second part of the tournament when we're gonna have some of the sole leaders, maybe. So guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly. All right, here we are. Arthurs, we have seen already four rounds, and the fifth round will start very soon. But so far, what we have seen, is there any participant that you think gonna have the best tournament?
Yeah, I think it's still quite early, Kitty, because the first four rounds have shown that the games are really uncompromising. Everybody's trying for the win. I was quite surprised by this previous game, the Karakan game, Avelina Bival against Motsevsky, where Black took the pawn and eventually crumbled in the time pressure. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun to follow. And the action, it continues so quickly. It's really hard time to choose. And somehow I feel that we have been quite lucky with the selection of the games. And
Yeah,
yeah,
so far what we have seen, it's a lot of fun indeed. And here we have the start of the next round. I think we are going to see it very soon. And here with black pieces, it's so difficult for me to announce her last name all the time. I'm gonna try Gulruh Bakim. Tokhirjanova, I'm so sorry for that, but
I think it's just fine. You just pronounce it just fine. It's against Bao Tram Huang.
Crazy Girl is her nickname on the Chess.com, and she recently had amazing tournament as USA Chess Championship. She took the second place and had amazing tournaments. She should feel like she's in a good shape for this Big Chess Championship. Let's see how this game gonna go.
All right, so white gets the two bishop advantage, one of the most favorite minimal advantages you can get in the opening phase, and slowly open up the position with something like f3, e4, probably not immediately because black could respond with d5. I think bishop g5 makes sense, f3 makes sense. Wait a second, what do you do after d5? That is immediately played, and Tokhirjanova claims the fight for the center. Must be some theoretical struggle.
That's right. Actually, here the white's plan can be to play e3 next move, bishop d3, knight to g2. To develop the king side, but the problem is that usually in that kind of positions the pawn is on c3 and supports the center. Now the queen is on c3, and this queen can struggle big time to be on that square. There can be c5 even, Arthur's here at some point. There can be g5.
Kitty, I just looked at this move e3 and I was wondering, was this an actual mouse slip? Because maybe white wanted to play e4, but the pawn landed on e3.
No.
But I mean, e4 would be knight e4, one of the most typical tricks in these positions, because the queen hits the bishop on h4, and after bishop d8, you play knight x on c3.
Yeah.
Where's the pawn? White is down a pawn now, but has at least this very pleasant pin. I think that I would love to play something like e4 and avoid this trap of knight x on e4. So my guess would be play something like queen c2, then play e4. But I mean, you still gotta develop your piece.
Struggle with the king side. Maybe knight h3, knight f2, bishop e2 to develop your pieces. Or no, you can't do g4 here. Then you might push the pawns, but you don't have enough pieces to attack the king side. So
I mean, why not actually? Yeah, g4, g5, exactly what you need for online blitz, right? It totally makes sense. It definitely makes more sense than playing positionally bishop e2 and a short castle. I could easily imagine Katie white playing rook g1 here.
Bishop e2, rook g1, g4. Maybe that's the choice here for white to start the king side attack, because otherwise you are just pawn down, and black plays c5 next move and trading all the pawns in the center, and it's good position for black.
Yeah, but on a serious note, of course, I believe that Tokhirjanova is doing really well here. And the Vietnamese player is a bit slow with her intentions. Queen c3, queen c2, e3, e4. She's underdeveloped. The king's in the center. And that's precisely the reason why the US Grandmaster plays c5, tries to open up the position, because this is what you have to do. When you are ahead in development, what you have to do, you have to open up the position. Here, black is completely calling the shots. I think already something like knight e5 here, allowing this trade on f6. Knight c5, a different choice by Gulruh Bakim here, and this just shows that she's such a strong player who is not afraid of doubling the pawns at the king side.
That's right, but maybe now it's time to take care of this knight and move away from f6 square, maybe 97, and somewhere like 95, 93 looks so amazing. You can actually start with knight b3 at some point, and then knight d to c5. So a lot of plans here, for a lot of future for these knights.
Yeah, but I mean, still, it's not very clear because the last thing really that matters in an online blitz, that is a pawn. And all that really matters, all that it is so important, that is the initiative. Right? And that's why we are often seeing these kinds of swings in a game, right? So here, queen c5, bishop f2, bishop e3. Again, white's idea might be really simple at some point to play g4, g5, rook g1. So the bar right now says that black is better. Things might change very quickly.
That's right, queen c5 has been played, and then after bishop f2, the queen was hanging, and it took really long for black to find the next move. That's a little bit lose of the time. Maybe knight h5, knight e4, or rook to d8, rook to d2 can be another option here. So black has to somehow stop all white's ideas and then slowly outplay in this position. Knight e4 has been played, and this is not the greatest move here.
I think that what white wants is to force the black pawn push forward, and then the pawn on c4 is weakened, which allows the knight on b3 to be anchored. But I think that black doesn't need to do that because the pawn on b5 is already defended by the queen on g5. So something like knight h5 here would make perfect sense. Speaking about the clock here, both players are already below 1 minute with 36 seconds only for white.
Not much time here. Rook to d8 has been played here, and it was not the greatest move according to the engine, but it's actually just a fine move to fight for the open d file, and I like this idea, rook to d2, to try to trade some of the pieces.
I'm trying to calculate very quickly. Knight x on b5, bishop c4. Does it work or not? Knight x on b5 apparently is a mistake, and I'm wondering, does it have to do something with the spin? Because after queen x on b5, bishop takes on c4, I have very big questions for white to ask. What happens after rook c8? First, black includes rook d1, and now I think we are about to see queen b5, bishop c4, rook c8. Wait a second, Katie. There's rook d8 intermezzo check. We are about to see it on the board.
Oh, rook d8 is an ugly move here. Oh, okay. I'm giving up. Knight e1 is the move here for black. Seriously? That's why she took the rook on d1. This is amazing. She saw all of this.
I mean, knight e1, this is a great vision by Kateryna, right? She saw this position from afar. And what it makes it even more amazing, she saw that after rook c8, white can respond with rook d8. How about that, right? I mean, because if the black rook would take on d8, the queen on b5 would be under attack. Still, it's not over. These bishops are monsters here.
The bishops are monsters, and now black's king is a little bit too open here in the position, but it's a piece.
Yeah, I don't like how white played out this position. This must be panic. I mean, you don't want to trade the pieces. Bishop takes on b3, bishop takes on f6. Okay, maybe bishop takes on f6. That was a good idea to open up the position. Now black is completely winning, and queen e5 is like, whew, okay, now I'm totally gonna win this. My king is exposed, but it doesn't really matter anymore.
It's safer now for black, and all black has to do to target b2 pawn and somehow start to pick up those pawns on the king side. Bishop to e8 and f5. Is there a checkmate somewhere out there?
Yeah, you're very correct. Actually, I think bishop f7 and black immediately spots it, I guess. White lost some time.
White lost some time, and there was king h7 on the move to be played. And here we have the first player already now with 5 out of 5. The other games are still in progress.
This is going to be really tough because Anastasia Bodnaruk is down a pawn and only having 1 second on the clock. Also, Bivol is not so far ahead, only 5 seconds. This is going to be a nail-biter. It's so difficult to win this position because the pawn on h6 is a weakness. I would actually say this is a 3-result game here, Katie, because I think that black will desperately want to win this position. Or does she? No?
No.
Oh, it's a draw.
Draw. They repeat, they did not really risk, because as you said here, this can be 3 results here. Anyone can get flagged. In normal life, it can be a very easy draw, but now at this time control, it is very tricky. And here we have the next game of the leaders and another rook game.
Yeah, and by the way, speaking about the overall rankings, right now Kateryna is in the sole lead with the perfect score, 5 out of 5, because Alina Bivol against Anastasia Bodnaruk, they're trailing behind with half a point. Now, is your friend here winning?
Let's see. She's trying. She's pushing.
I think it's a theoretical draw, right?
Yeah, if
Oh,
White
wait a
just keeps
second.
the rook on the third rank, it's a draw.
Wait, it's just... Black is
What?
just winning.
And oh my gosh, G3? Now check and then G2.
I think it's all about the pawn on a4, because if White didn't have the pawn on a4, White would easily make a draw here, right? But the pawn on a4, somehow White automatically defended it, and that was his undoing. Wait a second, G1 queen would be mate in one.
G1 knight is not an option here. What is happening? Rook G2?
All right, but where was the win actually? Where was the win? Because
Rook
very quickly
A3?
it was not so easy to calculate, and it's a draw. It's crazy.
Wow, what a game.
Just a second.
Rook E3?
I think we have a couple of seconds here. So you can't queen, right? I think Black she realized this, but where's the win?
Arthur,
you give a check.
King F2, queen, Rook G1, and Rook
then give a
A2
check.
win. Check. Yeah.
Indeed.
But yeah, it's so hard to see this actually. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Maybe King G1, but that's very hard actually.
All right, so let's continue with the next round, because round 6 is already starting. We are going to follow the top board of Alina Bivol playing against the sole leader, Tokyo Gold Rebecca. Here we have a quiet Italian game.
All right, and after 5 rounds, we have already only one leader, sole leader here, and just 2 players with 4.5 points, and tons of the players with 4 points. So everyone has a chance still to qualify to top 8.
Yeah, I mean, this Italian game, Katie, I don't know. I have played e4, e5 all my life, and the Italian game has now become the top opening theory. Basically, I think we have to thank to Vladimir Kramnik and his brought to life, so to speak, the Berlin system he used in the year 2000 against Garry Kasparov to beat him in the World Championship match. And ever since, players have been researching what is the alternative to the Berlin, this annoying Berlin endgame, right? And this is where people naturally came to see the beauty of the quiet Italian game, because it feels there's more life.
All I say in beauty in Italian is a pizza. To be honest, I don't really fancy Italian game, with all the apologies to everyone who plays. That there was a question in our chat. Where is Polina? That's a good question, Arthur. Where is Polina? And I can see she has 3 points out of 5. So it seems like a bit of a rough start for her.
Yeah, maybe if this game finishes up very quickly, we could check how she's doing. She's one of the ELO favorites. She has a slow start. It still doesn't mean anything because it's a long distance. And again, dear viewers, to remind you of the tournament system, 8 players will qualify for the knockout tomorrow. And one thing we haven't really mentioned, there's going to be a divided split. There's going to be 2 brackets. There's going to be the winner's bracket and the loser's bracket, right? And in the knockout stage, they're going to try to qualify for one of the 2 spots for the main event. But the winner's bracket, they have, so to speak, more lives, right? Because they have more chances. I guess we're going to explain it a bit closer when we get there. But the top 8 players from the Swiss, they qualify for tomorrow.
That's right. Another exciting day is coming up, but today, out of 68 players that has been registered at the beginning of this Swiss system, we're going to have only happy 8 in the end of the day. And talking about this leaders board out here, we can see that White is having a little bit edge in this position according to the engine.
Yeah, but what do you do with this pawn? Because if you now play rook b1, there's c6. And I think right now Alina realized that as she tries to complicate the game. Her idea is f takes on e4, knight takes on e5, hitting the queen on f7, double time with the knight on e5 and the rook on f1. So that's why Black has to calculate things really carefully. Visually, I love this move, but I guess the engine says there's something wrong with it.
Something is wrong with that. Obviously, it's not f4 here because kind of closes the center, and it's going to take forever to attack on the king side, especially when the knight is a bit stuck in there. Maybe knight f4 is the move, threatening knight e2 and threatening also pawn takes on e4, and d5 pawn will be undermined.
Yeah, not really surprising that Black misses this opportunity. Whatever it was there, queen takes on b7, now is on the board, still black gonna take on e4. Now with a different idea, there's gonna be knight g5 check, and this queen on f7 is still ill positioned, so not really a good place for the queen. I would still play at some moment with black knight f4, and again, in a time scramble, it's going to be easier to play with black.
I agree with that.
B8.
Rook to b8 has been played, attacking the queen on the b file. Now white can actually capture the pawn on a6 and keep the eye on knight g6. Can we just push the pawn d6?
Scary. It's so scary, right? Because, I mean, if black gets to these ideas like knight f4, okay, now queen g6 is impossible because the white queen defends the 6th rank. But this rook on b2, I don't think that Alina's here feeling really comfortable.
Yeah, I agree with that. Rook to b2. There's also a move like queen to d3 to hold position together for white and threatening to take on f5. Oh, I felt for it. I felt for it.
You got it. There's all kinds of ideas when rook takes on g2, knight f4 check. I mean, you should be very careful not to miss this. I don't know what Alina should do here. That's why she's spending time. E takes on f5. I think she assumes black is not going to
There's another blunder, Arthur. Queen e6 to offer the queen trade in the rook g2, king g2, knight f4. Once again, thank you very much. Oh,
E takes on f5. Engine marks as a mistake. Looks very human move to me. I think knight f4 just blitz it out without thinking, or she's thinking about queen f5. No, queen f5 I don't like. Maybe that's the right way to play. Queen f5 visually doesn't feel right. I think knight f4 should already be in the response of Kateryna instantly. Instead, she's calculating something.
She is, and she found the best move here according to the engine. I like how she's investing the time for these moves. Knight to h4 guarding the g2 pawn. Is there queen to h5? Oh, queen to d5. Look into g2
That's
square
even
again.
stronger. Yeah, she eliminates white's one of the passed pawns here in the center. Threading with rook takes on g2, senior threat. Rook f2, rook trade, and knight e3. White loses the rook. Now this is
Queen
very
d2 is
dangerous for Alina.
other way to win that rook. So many threats here.
Maybe rook f4 is the move. I mean, what else? You have to.
Oh,
I
like that move. And queen g6 after that.
Yeah, some threats. Rook f4 is on the board. E takes on f4, probably a responsibility. Queen g6, and then what? I mean, black is up on exchange. We are going to get our answers very quickly. I think rook e1, rook e7 makes sense for white. Black sacrifices the pawn to simplify the position with queen takes on f5. Great idea. I love it.
Yeah, and now black will just start to capture those pawns, weak pawns. Rook d1, rook to e1 was the idea. I like how Alina is fighting here until the last resources.
Yeah, but that knight, Katy, that knight. I mean, all of us, we know how tricky can be knights in endgames, right? I mean, they're very surprising. They tend to deliver all kinds of forks. Watch out for knight e4 fork, which black just dodged. Threaded with a mate in one.
Yeah, this
I
knight
guess white is going to lose
this.
this. Yeah, white is going to lose because of the king on g1. Had the king been somewhere on e3, f3, would be a totally different scenario.
Oh, seriously, this knight is so annoying because here it has 9 lives or what? Like, it's just alive still? Okay, this seems to be easy now. You just need to activate the king. You keep king and rook far distance relationship on the board between these two, and you just activate your king and that's it. Rook to a2 now wins a piece.
Yeah, rook a2 was winning on the spot, but wait a second. I mean, still, they're playing basically on the increment. Only 3 seconds for black. Should be, of course, winning. Very beautiful technique. Rook b2 check, king f3, and that's, I believe,
that's it.
Yeah, that's a win.
That's a beautiful win. 6 out of 6. Is there anyone who can catch her up? Anastasia Bodnaruk has 5 out of 5. Maybe that's going to be the pairing for the next match, but still we have one more game in progress. Corey Daisy with white pieces. She's having good chances.
Yeah, this is easily winning. Also, one of the most famous techniques that usually players employ in such positions. You can easily shuffle the pieces here and there, accumulate some time, plus 1 second per every single made move. So here white has absolutely no danger. F6, F7. I think for Atusa, this is bad news. But for Daisy, a chance to climb closer to the leadership. Speaking about the leaders, after round 6, Katy, we have a sole leader still.
Still so later, 6 out of 6. That is indeed great performance for I know I have to give
For
up.
Gulrobeki Tokajanova. She's doing perfect. 6 points out of 6, and right now the round 7 is already starting where she's playing against
Sicilian,
Anastasia
let's
Bondarev.
go! I love Sicilian. And we have this bishop to b5. A little bit annoying move for Sicilian player, but quite promising for white.
How annoying is it, Katie? Because when I'm seeing bishop b5 against a Najdorf, I would actually say it's meeting like fire with a fire extinguisher, right? Because players are playing the Sicilian Najdorf to sharpen up the game, try to go for a big fight, and somebody plays bishop b5, it just kills all the fun.
Yeah,
I know it
kills all
because
the
I
fun.
played myself.
Yeah. But also the worst part about this is that white is still having such a nice play, such a pleasant play. I always recommend everyone who wants to avoid all these theoretical lines in Sicilian, go for it. Oh, look, white has just managed to control the center with simple moves like c3 and then d4. And it's like seems to be easier play for white.
Yeah, and the black is supposed to twice take on d4 here. As far as I know, I think that here Gulrobek slightly mixed up something because visually I have a feeling that black has achieved more. So black is supposed to hit twice on d4 and then activate the pieces with something like bishop c6. There you go. Anastasia immediately responds. She knows what she's doing, and actually white is the one who is behind the development because look at those minor pieces she has at the queen side. They're not playing.
That's right, Arthur, and it's a very good point that if you don't know this, that you have to take here twice, you will not go for it because otherwise your pawn on d6 looks so weak here. However, after bishop c6, you are threatening not only knight d4 but also d5 to get rid of this weakness here. Rook to c8 is also quite useful move in the Sicilian positions.
What about knight e4, Katie, here? What I'm missing here? What is just white blunder? This is a very easy move. I think she forgot about this. I mean, she rushed very quickly. She played the opening too fast. Now she has 2 minutes and 30 seconds and all the pain in the world to think about.
One pawn is gone and the other pawn is following up on c3, like knight c3, pawn c3, and then bishop c3. There will be more
I don't
material.
know, sacrifice the queen for 2 minor pieces just to spicy up things. Well, what else? I mean, I'm out of good advice here. Maybe queen d1, knight c3, b takes, bishop c3, sacrifice the exchange.
Bishop h6,
Yeah, maybe that's
somewhere
more
like
sensible.
that.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, in that position, and then bishop h6 or stuff like
think
that.
so.
To think of some kind of play on the dark squares.
Yeah, this was not a good choice because here black was already threatening this move. If I go back here a couple of moves ago, here knight x on e4 was an idea, and rook e8 threatened to kill the rook at e1. White had response queen b4, but after this move, now knight x on e4 is a move. Why? Because after queen x on e4, there is rook e8, and knight on c3 stops queen b4, queen e1 idea.
Arthur, is this happening?
Yeah, it's happening.
Why just
Yeah, she
sacrificed
the
it?
queen.
Oh, wow. So
She sacrificed the queen.
maybe she's hoping to get pawn on d6, like bishop f4, or maybe bishop a3 and rook to d1, and just claims that I have just fine pieces, but not enough pieces.
I mean, White's idea is quite understandable. She wants to use the dark squares at the king side, play something like knight e4, bishop g5, bishop f6, knight f6, bishop h6, whatever. But I think at the end of the day, she's simply down too much material, and black is not going to give her this opportunity. I mean, black can always, of course, just play king g7 and try to cover those holes in her position.
That's right, and I really like what black is doing right now, just undermining all the weaknesses that white still have on the board. b2 pawn right now is hanging. You can't play b3 because this pawn can be at some point captured. Also weakens the knight on c3. If you capture bishop b3 right now, maybe rook to b1 will pin the bishop on the diagonal. But queen f6 just works well too.
And this could have major implications to the overall rankings because right now Kateryna is the sole leader with a perfect score 6 out of 6. And I think it's about to change. Now you can't play knight e5, would be a lovely fork if not for the rook on a1, which is unfortunately under attack. She plays it anyway, and after queen a1, rook d1, I think we are about to see a resignation quite soon. I'm not sure queen a3 makes sense as long as black doesn't blunder some mate threats at the king side. I don't see that happening.
That's interesting actually to have still some ideas on the king side. Let's see where the queen goes. Queen to g7 seems to be the safest to me.
I mean,
But then the
queen
rook is
e5,
hanging.
queen e5, knight b4, bishop c2, simplify the position. I think here Gulrubekim is gonna be willing to forget this game because she blundered this idea knight x on e4 early in the opening phase. I really love that but the rook saw the idea of knight x on e4 early on, but she noticed this move queen b4 as a defense. That's why she played rook c8, provoking white to play knight c3. Very high skill from Anastasia.
Yeah, provocation in the center that worked out very well, and it also just shows the skills, the blitz skills that she has. Bishop f5 has been just captured right now. Is that safe to capture it back with a pawn?
Yeah, but I think that what we should do, we should do we continue to follow this game or select another? Because I have a feeling this is only a matter of time. Although I mean, black is down 28 seconds.
Go ahead and try to choose maybe the other game.
Yeah, because I think nothing is going to change here, and Bodnaruk is going to win her game. My suggestion is to jump to the second board where Thibaut Trump, yeah, can't spell it correctly. Sorry, is playing against Corey Daisy.
With black pieces here, we see this beautiful battery on the H file for Corey. But somehow still there's not clear plan for any of the sides. Queen g7 seems to be not a very accurate move. Ooh.
You know, as always, the question is who is actually playing for the win. And the bishop on d7 was under attack, and white could have just taken it. This is a 3-result game.
What? Can I just take it? Bishop e6 check.
That's another intermezzo check. Okay, this is definitely stress. The players are below 10 seconds at least white is. We're seeing mutual blunders. White is still having this extra pawn. Queen g1 marks as a mistake. Okay, I mean the game is really nervous. Bishop g5 makes perfect sense. Bishop g5, bishop f4. And I think in the end, the player who controls the initiative most of the times wins the game. Bishop f4, black tries to get to the pawn in h2, and white now goes totally defensive. Rook c2, try to hold on. Did she blunder something?
Seems like black's pieces are very active now. Maybe rook to h1 will be something that black will go for.
Black is still attacking. Queen g5, nice way to bring the queen into action. Queen c1, rook d1, etc.
Queen c4, queen e4,
oh my goodness, mating too. Jesus. Well, but it was coming. It was really coming, right? I mean,
wow.
What
a crazy game. Every move was changing the evaluation of the position. That was really crazy. And we have another game still in progress, which just
the Vietnamese player has won her game, and I'm checking who else is playing. Hong Gon Goyang is playing against Atusa Prokashian. So here white has the dominant rook endgame with more active rooks. It's only, I guess, a matter of time before the white king gets to the b7 pawn. The rook at a8 for black is not really doing much. Also, these pawns on g6, h6 make very fine targets.
That's right, the pawn on g6 is gone, and next will be the pawn on h6, and here we have the lost on time.
Wait, just a second! Tokajanova won!
Huh?
Really? Oh my goodness, I have to...
No.
How did this happen? How did this happen?
No.
I totally buried her chances. I mean, there's no way black is not going to win this with an extra queen.
Bishop g7 is a threat?
How do you stop
There is no check? What? And then what happened?
Queen b5 is not winning. Okay, it was very difficult to calculate on seconds. And okay, this is already a 3-result game. Knight f6 threat with a mate. And black decided to give up the queen.
What else to do though? Oh, queen d3 and then you have a b pawn.
All right, we have no time for this, but apparently Tokajanova has 9 lives here because she was dead lost in this game. And I guess since we talk about her, let's jump to the top board of round 8, which is Corey Daisy against Gulrubekim. But unbelievable turn of the events because I totally predicted that she's going to lose this. And I
Wow.
actually feel a bit responsible for saying, listen, there's nothing happening there. Let's
No,
just move
no, no.
on.
Actually, we saw a very very nice game in the other board, and it was uh, just I think. Um, like I don't like when people are saying that it was a luck, but it's not a bad to have a luck in the tournament. Every chess player needs a luck, and I think Begim has a luck in this tournament. And when you win game like this, she fight it all the way. She fight it whole game without a queen. And for sure she deserved that. But now this game is something very interesting to have these two players who has the most of the points out of everyone. And
And these are
Artur's,
right now the top two players after round 7 because Gulrabek is still going with the perfect score, which is something I already said it's never happening. It is happening. She is still continuing this amazing run, and Daisy Corey is in the second place. By the way, dear viewers, after this round, we are going to have another break because the players will be checked for fair play. Fair play if they follow the fair play rules accordingly, and there will be a 6-minute break for everybody.
yeah, that's right. So after this move, rook to c1, here we have queen developing on f6 and somehow supporting the pawn on d4. But is there a move like e3 to pin the pawn on d4? Oh, knight
Whoa,
f5?
95. 95. Rook takes on c5. This is the idea of a Peruvian player. Okay, black says, fine, I'm gonna take on e5.
Is there a knight c3 somewhere there?
It does make sense. Knight
Knight c3, bishop
include
c3,
this
pawn takes c3. If you take the pawn, I take the knight. I have extra piece. If you don't take the knight and you move knight away, then pawn on a3 is hanging.
Again, I see, Katy, you're very sharp today. You see these things very quickly. I think knight c3 definitely the strongest move, but Gulrabeki maybe is still, feeling a bit shaky from the previous round because she just finished her previous game, and I definitely know this because I played in so many Tata Tuesday tournaments. Yeah. And when you are the last player to finish, there's no rest. I mean, the next round starts immediately. I mean,
I
basically
have time to
like in
understand
3
what just
seconds.
Happened. Yeah,
what just happened?
Yeah.
It's difficult to register.
Oh, sometimes I'm even shaking, like physically shaking when this happened. Not online chess, but when I play Blitz tournament, I'm just shaking and I can't stop myself. Like, I don't know, it's just a normal thing when you have something very exciting and you have to start the next game right away. I need like at least 2 minutes to calm down, and then it's already the end of the game.
Knight g4 doesn't look right. Somehow I don't like the knight there. I think it should be standing on d3. By the way, the queen on d1 is under attack. But after knight x on d1, white is going to include knight x on f6. And if the black queen goes away, bishop takes on c3 is the idea.
That's right, queen f5. Queen has to go anyway. And it was chosen to go on f5, attacking the knight on g4. So bishop c3, pawn takes c3, and then knight has to move. And there is no good square for this knight.
I was actually looking at some crazy moves like e4 just to confuse the opponent because after e4 you have to calculate knight c3, takes on e5, knight takes on b2, rook takes on c5, whatever. It's not happening. Here instead bishop takes on c3 and e4 is on the board.
That is right. Queen is under attack. The engine says that it's a good position here for black, but black has to find this one move which gives the advantage, and seems like it's queen g5,
h4?
Is it?
Yeah, h4, queen e7, rook c3, bishop a3. I think black still has the better position here, and of course Daisy plays this. Wait, I mean there still could be problems for black after e5, bishop e4, and stop potential kings at attack. I think this is what I would play here, because if black is allowed to play e5, open up the bishop on c8, and black is definitely calling the shots here.
That's right, the pawn has been captured, and here we have e5, a move that you suggested. Artur, is there rook to f3, knight f6 kind of ideas to be very naughty on the king side?
Absolutely, Katy. I was even thinking about rook c4, knight f6, rook g4, and I don't know, teleport the queen on h5. It definitely makes sense. I'm picking here white all day long. Definitely. White is down, opponent engine says black is better, but white is attacking. Again, in time scramble, that's all that matters. Queen f3, threading knight f6, g takes, e takes, queen g4, queen g7. Go figure it out in time scramble.
Yeah. So knight f6 the check, rook to c6 has been played, and somehow knight f6 is not so strong. Well, maybe king h8 just to step away with the king and to ignore that threats.
I don't know. Yeah, rook d1 is a great move by Corey here. Bring the rook in the action. Queen f4 is a move. Knight f6. These are moves.
Arthur, what about knight f6 and rook d7? Is not that the queen is not trapped there?
Oh, that was a very nice idea. And I think here black is literally forcing white to do this. Now knight f6 will be blazed out instantly.
Or you can start with the... There we go! And rook... Okay, this is not possible. Queen h6 and...
It's just a mate. Yeah. I think it's just a mate. So h5 was a terrible move, and Gulrobekin loses on time. And apparently Corey inflicts the first loss to the so far perfect leader.
What a day here. So here we have the two players, Bagim and Daisy, sharing the first and second places with 7 points, but still in other games are in progress. And what is happening in here? Bodnaruk with white pieces, she is winning.
Completely winning. She has an extra piece and a compensation for it, right? Beautiful pawn on e6. The black king is weak. I think this is, again, only a matter of time. Beautiful idea. Is it so beautiful? Actually, queen e7, what happens then?
I don't
queen
see
e7 seems to be the
queen
only
c4
move.
was the move there to keep the eye on f7. So many queens on the board.
Okay. And Bodnaruk wins.
Nice one.
Let's follow another game of Hong playing against Dinara Wagner. Wait, I think that white has slightly extra material here. Don't you agree?
A slight extra rook here.
Yeah.
That is right. So what should be
but
the
of
white
course you
plan?
have to fight it out. You never know.
Yeah, you have to.
You never know. You never know.
You don't have to give up everything. And this is online championship.
the game
Someone
didn't
can be
continue.
actually disconnected and maybe you'll get the point.
The game didn't continue for long. Also the mouse slip, indeed. Yeah. So now we're following the game of Letao playing against Savita. Both players are about having 10 seconds. White has the dominating position, so I guess only should be a matter of time. But looking at the leaderboard, we are seeing now two leaders because it is Tokajonova still with 7 points, but Ori Daisy has caught up. She also has 7 points, and then we have Bodnaruk and Tatev Abrahamyan, by the way, also a very strong player from the United States. We haven't really seen in action. Probably
Also, Paulina joining the
G5, G5.
leaders.
Don't play G5. Don't play G5. No.
That's so kind of you.
No, I know it's very bad to wish something like that, but
Otherwise, actually, if you queen here, if you queen, it's a win because there's no rook h1 in that position. But so hard to spot
by the way,
the queen.
To remind you, the viewers, after this round, there's going to be a fair play break, which I think we are about to see because this game is finished. Oh wait, there's one more game. There's one more game ongoing where black has a completely winning attack.
Chelsea, Monica won the game, and another game here we have. White with extra piece.
So in total, there are actually now there's 70 players. It seems that some players have joined after missing the first round.
No problem.
All right.
So like players like myself, I always lose first round, so it's good to skip that part and just join later.
All right.
Can I take the knight on g3?
Yeah, white is simply winning this. Don't blunder the rook on g3. Wait. King takes on d6 here. King takes on d6.
Oh, now you take the knight with the pawn and you just lost the exchange.
Wow, I mean, that is totally nuts. Because white was having an extra piece trying to figure out how to win this. And now she is the one having a completely lost position. Rook f2 trying to sacrifice the exchange.
Yeah.
And she loses some time.
That
Just a
was
second.
really
Can I go back here?
Sure.
Here, at this moment, right? I think this was completely winning, of course. Just play knight x on g3. The rook on e6 is defended by the bishop on g4. Instead, she gave this check. And after king e5, she got really confused, right? Because now the seconds are ticking. She doesn't know what to do. After knight x on g3, she loses the rook. On second, she played it anyway, and now she was dumbfounded by this move, rook b3 check, and instead automatically responded king f2, and after h takes on g3, she loses the knight, loses the rook, and
loses the game.
What a crazy
And that
turnaround.
was so difficult and heartbreaking. You guys, we have 2 players with 7 points and 2 players with 6.5. We're taking now a short break together with the players and we'll be back in a minute. Please don't go anywhere because this action is just heating up.
See you soon.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Women's Speed Chess Championship 2023 qualifiers. And here we are in the round 8, where we do have 2 leaders with 7 points and 2 other players who are so close to catch up. The leaders, we're Katy and Arthurs here working for you. Arthurs, we have seen a lot of drama already by this time.
I mean, this is fun. You know, I absolutely enjoy this watching as a chess player, because there's a lot of action, a lot of craziness, a lot of turnarounds. For example, this absolutely stunning game of Kateryna winning, absolutely losing game. But we are seeing a lot of fighting spirit, a lot of ideas. So it's really fun to follow. And I believe there's still 6 rounds to go, because again, dear viewers, this is a 14-round Swiss tournament where 8 players qualify for the knockout stage tomorrow.
That's right, Arthurs, and my heart rate is actually increased so high after having to 2 cup of coffee since morning. Plus, this game is too much. To be honest, is too much. And here we have the pairings of the round 9. Bagim with white pieces against Tatev with black pieces. These two know each other very well. They play for a USA team. They play as a team members. They play a lot of tournaments together, and I'm sure they are maybe even friends. And now they have to face each other on the virtual chessboard.
All right, it's going to be really tough, and I think that your adrenaline levels, Katie, are bound to increase. You're still not getting the most. Nope, there we go. Ready. I love the choice. It's a very quiet positional game with chances to heat up. We are going to see what's going to happen. Knight c3, d5, d4. I guess we're going to transpose something. No, e3. Great choice for a blessed game.
Let's try stepping pawn to be pushed on d4, and it's going to be a little bit slow opening here. You know what I like? Bishop e2, rook g1, and g4 ideas. Do you think white will go for this? Rook g1 and g4? Some kind of...
We might get an answer to your question, and that's why I think black immediately plays c... Wait. What just happened here? Just a second.
Oh, d4, d3! It loses the piece!
She just won the game right here on the spot. I mean, she automatically played knight c6 and realized, oh my goodness, I could have won the piece.
She doesn't know that, Arthur. She doesn't know that. We know that because we have this magic engine, evil bar on the side. But I'm sure she doesn't know that. It's knight c6 is such a natural move, right? And you trust your opponent.
I disagree, Katie. I think that the hand played the move, right? And as soon as you play the move, there's like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. I can't this move, right? No, I'm pretty sure that Tatev... she already knows this, and actually sometimes this is the kind of information you don't want to have, right? Because now it's in your memory. I mean, I could have won the game already right here. Right? But you gotta continue.
That's right. Okay. Anyway, we have the hanging pawns in the center. And this is always very unclean situation. Is it good pawns out there? Are they weak or are they strong pawns? So
these are the good pawns. These are definitely the good pawns because they are really controlling a lot of squares in the center. And Gulrubek goes forward, d4, d5, opening up the bishop on b2. And I'm seeing all kinds of dangerous ideas here, Katie. Thinking about something like queen d3, knight g5, queen x on h7. It's going to be very tough for Abrahamyan to stay in the game because maybe she's still thinking about this moment when she did not take the piece after the opening.
Yeah. That's possible. Knight to d5 now. Will white take with the queen and attack the bishop, or will take with the pawn? Arthurs, I like this bishop on b2, looking on this very long diagonal, attacking on pawn on g7. You never know. Maybe at some point there will be some sort of like queen d4, queen h4 type of moves. Queen. Maybe that's too far. Okay, knight g5 ideas. Knight. Bishop to d3.
I mean, bishop d3 also looks like a great move, and here white has a lot of very good-looking attacking chances here, and now it is Gulrubek who has to figure out, and I think that also for Tatev it's very important to survive for the next couple of moves. Bishop d3, Kelly, you called it, great move to bring more pieces in the attack, already thinking about the potential Greek gift. Sacrifice. Bishop takes on h7, knight g5 with h5, and try to do a lot of harm.
Yeah, maybe it's not working right now because bishop had this square on f5, but it's always good to have this in mind that moves like that are existing. So now bishop takes, queen takes. I love this isolated pawn on d5. Gives so much space to white pieces. White pieces can move around. Maybe rook to e1 now.
Yeah, and I think also for Tatev, this is like, okay, I managed to survive this. This attack a couple of moves ago was looking really scary. Now I'm totally not getting mated here. And that's why she should be feeling much more comfortable. It's also quite understandable from Takirjonova's part that she tries to keep as many pieces on the board as possible, because with the rooks gone, the pawn on d5 might actually become an actual weakness.
That is right. So this is the game of the one leader. We also have Corey Daisy, who has 7 points too, and also fighting for winning the Swiss portion of the qualifiers. Knight 2 of 3 has been played. Maybe this knight is going towards the 5 square, but it's not so Ooh,
Yeah,
that
do
is
you like my
scary.
sharp tactical skills? Can you look at this? So knight x on d5 is a move. But I think
Wow.
what Tatev is calculating already, what happens if white continues something like rook d1, because knight x on d5, this is such a responsible move, and you gotta calculate this very, very carefully. I would not do this. Instead, yeah, I was thinking about queen b5, maybe queen f5 was more to my taste. So I tried to simplify the position a bit, because the pawn on d5 is a potentially a weakness, and probably not going anywhere.
I like this move too, but how about not to trade the queens and to play something like queen to d4, attacking the g7, and after knight f5, maybe queen to g4. And I do love this move because knight on f5 and the rook on c8, they are both hanging.
Yeah, but I think this queen d4, queen g4, you're dropping the bishop on b2, and that's why here Algol Rebecca still hasn't made a move. Maybe queen takes on b5 is not such a bad move after all, because let's say queen b5 takes on b5, but okay, we're not going to get
It's
that.
a bad move. Queen d4
I
is
think
not
knight
a
f5
good
is very
move.
strong. Yeah, knight f5 precisely. Queen
Queen
g4, another
g4.
mistake?
Maybe
How's
there
it
is
a
even
mistake
something
again?
better here.
Or maybe just queen d5. Just take the pawn. I'll protect the knight here on f5, but wait a second, bishop takes on g7, knight g7, the rook on c8 is under attack, you've got to calculate things very quickly. So queen d5, bishop g7, maybe there's an intermezzo move, h5, you have to calculate things very quickly, and the clock is ticking, tick-tock, the time goes away, and you have to make a decision very quickly.
That's right. Queen captured the bishop, and there was a decision, and then Black just decided to stop d5 pawn. Black sees this as a target and a threat as well. Next can be bishop to c5, Arthur, to hit the pawn on f2.
d1 was a bit strange move. I was expecting something like knight e5. I'm not sure why she decided to do this. Bishop c5 now hits the pawn on f2. Rook d2 has to be included. Queen a1, queen f6. Black is completely safe, having a great position.
Looks like a more damage on the king side is just happening.
But wait a second, Katy, this knight. This knight, do you remember things I told you about the knights? They can be very unpleasant. All kinds of knight f5 ideas, just one step away from the king.
That's
Can be
right.
unpleasant.
That's right. Somehow.
That was great on Abrahamian. Wins because Tokarjova loses some time.
Wow.
Great victory by Abrahamian, who overtakes the leader.
What a game. Very important game, by the way. Corey Daisy against Anastasia Bodnaruk. Also a quite important game. We can see Corey is having more pawns, one extra pawn on the board, and she's pushing them.
Yeah, so is Black. a4, bishop takes on a4. I think you can just take this pawn. Knight takes on e4. Black wins back one pawn, but clearly White is calling all the shots. Now the position has simplified. Bodnaruk is in trouble. But again, let's not write down her chances completely, because again, those knights, they can be very tricky, and this is exactly what she tries to do, to confuse the opponent.
Double knight, double trouble. Knight e5, bishop f7 can be the move to pick up another pawn on g6, and she's going for that. And somehow those knights, Black's knights, are way too far from g6 pawn, and this is already extra 3 pawns, Arthurs.
And this would allow also Corey to catapult to the leader spot, because right now she has 7 points. Also, Bodnaruk is...
Oh my god, he was like
Bodnaruk has
0
6.5
seconds?
points.
How is that possible? she's
Oh,
she's surviving. She's making move on seconds. 1 second on the increment. Wow. What a crazy
so yeah,
game.
I think totally White is going to win this. White is easily going to win this because she can make a lot of easy moves. The sole knight that Black has no longer can make any difference. a7, knight c7. Okay, that's really nice. And Corey is going to take the game and become the sole leader. And she does it.
Ooh, 8 points for Corey Daisy. We have Tatev Abrahamian with 7.5. I believe this two has not played yet. Maybe the next game will be between these two. And here we have Chelsea Monica winning her game. She's also quite tricky blitz player, as I know.
Indeed, there they finished, and now we have something more spicier here. Savita against Rucha, 2 Indian players. Who is even playing here for the win, because the pawn on h3 is quite strong for Black. Now it's gone. I guess White is winning this. Oh, that was a queen. Oh no, my queen!
No, my queen.
The queen is
Oh
gone.
no.
All
Oh.
right.
All right, all right, all
And with that,
right.
and with that, the round 9 is concluded, and I think we are gonna jump back to the action of the leaderboard because round 10 is about to start, where we have two leaders. Corey Daisy right now has 8 points out of 9, playing against Tatev Abrahamyan, who played a very inspired game of black, and now we have something
Modern
really sharp.
Gurgenidze, I think that's the name of this opening. That's the on my list to learn how to play it with black pieces.
Is it not actually titled as the Tiger variation?
Tiger?
Yeah, Tiger. Because as far as I know, the Swedish grandmaster Tiger Hillarp Persson, his first name is Tiger. He wrote a book.
I thought it was
about
for an animal tiger. Like,
Well, that's his name. So he wrote a book on the system, and he named it after him.
he named himself after him. Okay, maybe, but the book that I have, it says Modern Gurgenidze, so that's something
Fine.
questionable. Chat knows everything, so let's ask Chat this question. They know all the openings better than us sometimes, so that is indeed a good question to ask. I like what you're marking
Come on,
right
Tada,
now.
play e6. This is an
Knight
easy
G5.
choice. E6, knight g5. This is a very easy choice. No, she doesn't do that. Is she gonna play c4 and then play e6, knight g5? No, wrong again. That was a bit strange.
Yeah.
I think I would have already sacrificed the pawn a couple of times.
Already, yeah. By this time, you would sacrifice
Already.
all the pawns. But I like that how she's
I mean,
keeping
it's a very common motive. It's a very common motive. That's what I'm saying. It's a very common motive with the in that position, play e6, knight g5. Even if it doesn't work, you should play it automatically.
Yeah. Right, so here we have black still not castled, but I like this move a5, stopping before for a moment, and then she will castle later on. But Arthurs, how about queen e3, bishop h6 ideas?
So you
Premature
insist on
ideas
some
of
attacking
checkmate.
ideas to the king side, yeah? All right, I'm not gonna argue. It definitely makes sense. I love the black knight on c5, which is basically anchored there. It can't move away.
Yeah, in blitz games, you don't necessarily need to make the most brilliant moves. You just need to make the moves that are not
Annoying moves.
blunders. So then your opponent will lose the game itself. So that's a very good strategy. Usually, not to blunder and not to make the greatest moves in your games.
I think actually it's just enough not blundering. That's a great start. So in case dear viewers, you're wondering how to become better at chess, just don't blunder.
Don't blunder. So after
You're
castle
already
is
making
white.
the right step.
Is white threatening to play knight g5, bishop c5, and e6 then? Oh, the queen on c3 is hanging.
You can't do that.
Blunder.
Wait a second. I don't like knight a6. What about c5? All right, there's mutual mistakes here. This means only one thing. This game is very tense. And Katie, we might get your bishop h6 after all, because I think that Corey is definitely not going to short castle. No. Because short castle, there is going to be bishop h6, knight g5. This is precisely the reason why she plays h6. That's asking for trouble.
That's asking for trouble. Indeed, bishop g4 can be also be played, and then e6. Right now, e6 still is a threat. Somehow black's pieces are not coordinating well.
I mean, maybe play bishop d7 and try to talk out white from playing e6, and I think e6 might be still played anyway. Very unpleasant situation for the tournament leader, who is right now in the sole lead. Yep.
Is Tatev Abrahamian the person who goes after the sole leaders because she took down Baggy and now she's gone for Daisy? Watch out for Tatev.
She should be very careful.
Yeah.
She should be very careful, because if she becomes the sole leader, somebody is going to come after her. Anyway, I mean, here,
as well.
Corey decided to play bishop d7 to defend against e6 threat. White's position looks really beautiful. Bishop f3 is a move. F4 is a move. E6 is a move. There's so many great moves. Also, black can't castle short because the pawn on h6 is under attack. And if you play g5 to protect it, it creates even more weaknesses.
Ooh.
Queen e4 just wins the game, I think. No? Queen e4 and adios amigos. Yep, that's it. Bishop d4 hits the rook at h8. Although after short castle, maybe black is alive for a moment.
Bishop h6. That can also work in that position. But anyway, this can also work quite well. Just capture the rook there. And now make the pass move. Black's king is still in the center and cannot castle on the short side, and neither on the long side.
Oh, is there queen sacrifice on f6? No, maybe there was not. Okay. Engine marked bishop f6 is a mistake. I'm not really sure if this game is so clear yet. Wait a second. I mean, black plays king f8, king g7 normalizes the position. White has some weaknesses at the king side, at the queen side, and at the end of the day, it might be more important who has the easier to play position. We are gonna see. This is still not over.
I like how Daisy's taking everything which is free on the board. She just collects everything. She knows that she has very bad position, but still.
I mean, maybe even in an online blitz, having this extra half a minute feels like an extra pawn, right? So
True.
black has the extra half a minute, a very safe position. King f8, king g7 makes a lot of sense here. She's thinking. Sure, what about?
The pieces are not so active though. Maybe h4, h5 would be the idea out there. g5 weakens the king. And then she castles, but here bishop f6, pawn takes f6, and maybe h4, f4 right away.
Yeah, this looks very great. h4 immediately, even better.
Even
Trying
better,
to keep the
because
pawn on g5.
if you take the pawn bishop on e5, then you take the rook, and there's a double attack on e7 and g5.
Yeah, but I think you're going to be right, Katie. Indeed, Abrahamian is going to be the one who takes down the leaders. Also in this round, that's what it looks like. She has the material... Actually, it's not a technical material advantage, but she has the attack, right? The king is exposed. That's all that matters. In online scramble, time scramble. Knight e4 is played, h5, weakening king even further. Queen h6 is threatening. Oh, it's looking really tough. King g7, queen g5.
Oh, checkmate is coming. Queen g7, queen h8, f6.
Even queen h5 is a winning move, I think. Queen h5, collect the bishop. Abrahamian is...
That's a queen blunder!
Mo slip! I think it was a Mo slip.
I think that was a queen blunder. She wanted to take with a check another pawn.
I think it was a Mo slip. I think she wanted to play queen g4, but she accidentally made queen g4. My
This
goodness.
is so painful. This is so painful to see that, to experience that.
We have to move on, but listen, this was nuts. She already had a winning position. All she needed to do was make queen h4. Opponent already is ready to press on the resign button. She blundered the queen.
Oh man, that's so bad. That's so bad. But anyway, we do have now this whole leader, and that's Kari Daisy. That was a quite lucky win for her, and we see Dinara winning against Polina. That's a big win.
All right, let's switch to another game. Here we have Savita playing against Ambartsumova. Here, the Indian player has materially winning position, I guess.
That's
Yeah,
true, and
B5,
this pawn
B6.
cannot go far. And just the rook is hanging, and that's it. They will queen now, maybe. No, just take the bishop, yeah. And this is just...
But Kitty, how do you recover? I mean, how do you recover from such a situation? Because when you are completely winning and one step away from your opponent is about to resign, you blunder the queen. What do you do? I mean, what do you do? Because I'm pretty sure you've been in such a situation yourself many times. Unfortunately, it happens. What's the next step you have to do here?
I think you have to impress your emotions. That's what really helped me to just, I don't know, do whatever you can just to get all this anger out. And like what you can do, you cannot do much actually. You just have to admit the situation and take the situation, and that's fine. I hope that you will learn something out of it. You will be more attentive. But if it's a mouse slip, I really don't know how to help that. How to help mouse slip.
We might never know.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, automatically play king c1, king c3. This is a losing position. This was an easy theoretical draw. Oh, unbelievable. How you can lose this?
Oh, I know.
Because, just a second. I mean, this is online blitz.
Yeah.
This is an easy theoretical draw. All you need to do is put the king in the corner and put the bishop in front.
And the king is in the right corner as well.
Exactly. It's not super tricky. And instead she played this terrible move, king c1. Now king c3. mate threats, bishop d1, classical Zugzwang position here.
You know,
Anyway,
Arthur, what is really good technique here, just to get this king in the edge of the board. I think king c2 was already just not a great move. Just to make sure that you tell your opponent, you sign to your opponent, I know this is a draw and I have my king at the right place. This can be a good way to avoid. It was too much dramatic round here. We round 10 and this starts round 11. Arthurs, we don't have much of the rounds to go, but we do have Sole Leader now, Cory Daisy, we have Bagin with 8 points, and then Tate with 7.5. Those players are having the best chances to qualify to the top 8. But it also matters if you take first place or if you take the last place, which means 8. First of all, because of the price, and second of all, tomorrow we're gonna have 2 brackets, and about that we can talk a little bit more in the end of today's show.
I'm trying to estimate what could be the amount of points in order to qualify for top 8 for the knockout tomorrow. I think it could be around 9 points, right? So at the moment we see the top 8 players, all of them have scored at least 6 points, I think 9 points. So it's pretty safe to say that Cory has made very good claims to qualify for the knockout stage tomorrow. But I think it's quite important for her that she qualifies in this so-called winner bracket, because the winner bracket eventually gets an extra life, because the top 4 players, they qualify for the winner's bracket. 5th to 8th place, they qualify for the loser's bracket. But if somebody from the winner's bracket loses a match, they still get a second chance. They are relegated to the loser's bracket and they're still continuing the tournament. Whereas the loser's bracket, if you lose the match, you're out.
Yeah, that's right. This is the system. We're gonna see all of that action tomorrow, but today we need still to know how many, what's the score that can qualify these players to top 8. And in this position, we already have the end game, quite peaceful game between Shavalova and Cory Daisy. At this point, maybe the players already got tired out of so much dramas.
Yeah, and there's also no time to rest, because if you are the one who finishes the game quite late, you have to start immediately the next one by sometimes even a stronger opponent. There is going to be one more final break, which is meant to review the games for if the players are following the fair play practices. That's going to happen after round 12. This is round 11. So this round, the next round, they're going to have a small break to take a breath and finish the tournament with the final 2 rounds.
Yeah, that's right. And very often you also just need some time to understand if you need a win or if you need a draw is also enough to qualify. So this 6 minutes that players need is very important. And this game is quite peaceful, Arthur. Shall we maybe choose the other game, or we should keep the eye on it?
Yeah, indeed. Let's switch to the game of Gulrobek Tokarjanova against Dinara Wagner. This game is feeling more spicy. So for Gulrobek, this is a chance to try to catch the leader. For Dinara Wagner, right now she is on... How many points? I don't see. I assume she's on 6.
Dinara has now 7 points out of 10, and she has 8th position for the moment.
Oh, at least I'm not seeing that in the rankings. Okay. All right. So what do we have here? Some sort of dragon blood position?
Dragon bishop is out there. Indeed, bishop a4. Pinning the knight on b3, knight a5 is the threat that black wants to play next move to win this knight on b3. If you take the bishop c4, queen takes c4, and that's actually another way to attack the knight.
I think already rook e4 might be the only move. Otherwise, the spin is so unpleasant. This is precisely the reason why Tokarjanova is spending some time here. If she doesn't see the move rook e4, what else is to play there? Because knight x on a5 carry is a killing move. I mean, maybe play bishop d3, bishop c2 if you don't see the move rook e4. Because after rook e4, if black continues with knight a5, now you kill the bishop.
That's the plan, and as we can see here, white is taking so much time
She doesn't see it.
29 seconds, and she can still solve the position. It's a lot of holes in White's position. And rook to e2.
What?
Oh no, what is that for? Rook e2.
Must be a mouse slip.
This
must be a mouse slip. I just can't explain this move whatsoever. What's the idea even of rook e2? Was she want to play something else? No, she definitely want to play rook e4. Appears to be a mouse slip. Now she tries to fix the mistake or like send a message to the opponent. You see, this is the move I wanted to play. Unfortunately, mouse slip happened.
Yeah, but this is so bad position here for White. These pieces are not connected. More time on the clock, 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Yeah, but Katie, I'm not going to repeat the same mistake again. You know, I already said it once, right? That Gulrubekim here is completely losing. There's nothing happening here. Let's move on to the next game, right? And then something insane happened. She actually won the game without a queen. So let's just continue to watch this game. Maybe something still happens here.
I can't believe something can happen in this position. But okay, let's do that. Wow, what a chance for Dinara to actually catch up with Bagim and also Polina Shuvalova, who has already 8 points.
By the way, but there's a big result, Katie, because apparently Corey Daisy has lost her game against Polina Shuvalova. And if you're going to have a chance, we're going to show you very quickly how exactly it happened. But in this particular game, it appears that Dinara is really doing things well. She is not gonna make any mistakes here. Rook b8, rook b1 seems to be the fastest way to win this game. So there's many ways. Just promote this a pawn. There you go. She picks up this idea and wins the game. I think we have to select another game, and since one of the leaders also is Tatev Abrahamyan against Huang Nguyen, let's go to that game.
Let's do that. And here we have White with 2 bishops on the board, having slightly better position, but not so clear actually what's the way to win. Oh, bishop f3 maybe is the way. Bishop f3 and just take on b7.
Bishop f3, rook d7, and you do what? What?
Oh.
Okay. I mean, something happened there. I guess there was a minor lag. Oh my goodness!
Rook is gone!
Another blunder.
Wow.
Okay,
Oh man,
I don't know what happened there before, but this was crazy. Look at this tricky move, Katie. King b5. Sort of hinting that she's going after the pawn on a2. Actually, she's attacking the rook on a8, and White blundered this. Oh, yeah. This must hurt for Tatev.
Must be very difficult, and in any kind of blunder here at this point. We have round 11. Round 12 actually is just started right now. Artur, is that?
I mean, chess is brutal sometimes, right? Yeah, that is a fork, but chess is brutal. When you're playing online blitz, luck gotta play a big factor here, and it can be really tough. Trust me on this. But anyway, the next round is already starting. We have to move on. We have to move on. And Corey Daisy, we didn't really get the chance to watch how she lost the previous round game against Polina Shuvalova. I have a feeling, Katie, is that she tried to play it too safe. That's what I was getting. This kind of impression that she tried to play it too safe against one of the strongest opponents, Polina Shuvalova. And this is also muddying up waters in the overall rankings, because right now, if you check what's happening there, I mean, Corey is still leading the tournament with 9 points, but there's a lot of players with 8 points. Tokhajonova, Shuvalova, who, by the way, made a terrific comeback with 3 points out of 5 after having a bad start. Also Hong and Nara Wagner, and then there's also a pack of players with 7.5 points. This tournament, Katie, is wide open.
It is still open, and still a lot of rounds that can change so many things in the end, and every point really matters now. Corey is not maybe safe yet, because if she's fighting for the first place and $500, she needs to win the games and or make a draw at least. We can see that pawn e6 is not the good move. It's just take the queen and take the pawn on d6. Or what's the idea?
Not sure. Maybe. If I take on d6, black plays knight b6, the pawn on d6 is going to be lost anyway.
Queen h3, I
So
like this. Keeping the eye
that's a
on the
great
king
move.
side.
That's a great move. It's clearly hinting for some f5, bishop g5, bishop g5, bishop
Knight
f6,
g5.
g4 ideas. Yeah, use your imagination here. I love this move.
Yeah, I like that move too. And we have f5, the move that attacks the bishop. And maybe white can just move this bishop away on d3 and play knight to g5 next move rather than to take the pawn with en passant and allow black to have some sort of counter play. Is that it? By the way, the pawn on e6 is hanging actually. It's not so easy for black.
Right. Apparently there's some missed chance for both players. I'm not sure what they were. Maybe there's some knight e5. I don't know. Maybe now you can play knight e5. Can you play knight e5 here? Knight e5, d takes, f takes. The queen is under attack. There's bishop takes on h6 threat.
I love that.
Can white pick up this idea? Although I'm not even sure, Katie, what it does.
Knight e5. Knight e5 is not attacking anything. This is a beautiful move.
Yeah. Okay, it's attacking the
Arthurs,
pawn
what
on
about
c6.
g4, g5 ideas out there? Is that too much?
No, it's exactly as I like to play chess. I like it. Yeah. G4, I love this move. And G4 is on the board. Good call, Katie. Yeah,
Okay.
indeed. So I think black is going to retreat with the queen. Now black needs to watch out for f5, bishop h6 ideas.
I like knight
B3?
g5, knight h7, bishop g6 ideas out there. b3? Stopping knight to come on c4. That's also fine move.
Okay, it's a bit strange, but okay, white is trying to be safe. This also gives black enough time to do something, regroup the pieces. Knight e5, I guess it also makes sense. E takes on d5, open up the rook on e8. Also bishop c8, hit the pawn on g4. Black also might try to take over the game here.
Yeah, f5
Brilliant
is a good move,
f5,
attacking the
opening up the
knight
bishop.
on h6. I love this move. If you move the knight away, then the pawn on g6 is simply hanging.
Corey is in trouble here because if the knight goes away, white simply collects the pawn on g6 and she has the attack and material advantage. That's why she had to sacrifice the exchange. Rook takes on e3. Good practical choice. G takes on e5. Watch out for bishop d4 in some lines. Don't blunder this.
Oh no, knight is on f3 for the moment. It's not really possible. Somehow, like black is
What just
still
happened
surviving here. Bishop
More.
e4, maybe?
It's more than that. What just happened here? Why did she give up the strong bishop here on d3? I mean, if we go back here, this was not necessary. Just play rook e2, rook g2, because black cannot really take the pawn on d4. There's a mate threat on h7. Bishop takes on f5. This is a move that the Vietnamese grandmaster is going to... I'm sorry, Vietnamese woman freedom master is going to regret. These bishops are going to be monsters.
That's right. King now steps aside, open up the G file for the rook, and we can see the engine bar goes down for black here and gives the advantage. And time is also in favor of Corey Daisy.
Black is completely taking over the game here, and the spin looks so deadly. Bishop h6, bishop f4, beautiful bishops here. White would love to give away the exchange, but unfortunately it simplifies the position too much in black's favor. Rook e2, queen f6, rook f2. Oh my goodness, this is looking really ugly, and also an excellent chance for Corey to solidify her leadership.
And that is actually true, and I'm sure she sees a lot of ideas now that she can set up her pieces, attacking on f3 as you mentioned, and maybe it's at some point to play something like c5, b4 to make these pawns work on the other side of the board.
But I think queen f6 just wins on the spot, to be honest. There's no king g2, there's rook g8. Black wins the queen. And after queen f6, rook f2, black plays bishop e3. And that's it, hits the rook and then takes an f3. I think it's just completely winning. But I think
the pawn
that
game is also winning,
safe.
right, Arthurs? The pawn game. If they trade everything, is the pawn game winning for black?
That I don't know.
Because there's a double pawn on d file. It's extra pawn, but it's double pawn too.
So Corey played queen e7. I guess the idea is to play bishop f3 and hit the rook on e2. Now she goes for the same idea. Rook e2, bishop d3.
F4.
This is what she wants.
Okay, that's also fine.
Watch out for the weak king. And bishop h6 is exactly the reason why Corey tries to secure the king's safety. King h2 drops the queen. We
Queen
can't do
f6
that.
right now, attacking the knight, and we're gonna have this position anyway with bishop e3, which you were suggesting to play earlier.
Yeah, King G2, take it on F3. We might get an answer to your question, Kede. Is this? Oh wait, now he's just winning for black.
Yeah, after King G2, I think Rook G8 was the move. That's why White just played Queen to G4. And a very important win here for Corey Daisy. She has 10 points. And just guaranteed herself the sit for the knockouts.
One of the most important games of this round is one of the pre-tournament favorites, Polina Shavalova playing against Gulrubekim Tokajonova, the early tournament leader who has now suffered a couple of losses. She was going with a perfect run after, how many rounds was it? Round 7?
Seven rounds, yeah.
That's A6, right. What just happened there? There was apparently a blunder. Oh, what?
What is this?
The bars, jumping up and down. I have a hard time
getting dizzy. Wait, Rook H2 wasn't winning there? It was winning the Rook. I'm so strong in others games. Yes, Rook G2 and Rook H1 winning the Rook when the pawn was on C3.
Apparently it was missed opportunity. Rook takes on C2. Black blunders the pawn on C2. Now the pawn on A7 gives White excellent winning chances. The game is, again, changing dramatically. And now, is this a draw, Kerry? Is this a draw because the White King marches very quickly to the C7, B8 squared? Pawn on G5 also might be a target. I have a feeling this could be actually winning. Wait a second.
Seems like it's a very tricky position, but the problem is that with White you can't really get this king closer to the pawn. A8 square, in fact. King to D7 now.
Wait, I think there's excellent chances for White to win this. Bishop takes on G5.
Oh!
What?
And the king can get closer to the G pawn. F5 is there?
Very nice resource.
Wow.
Apparently, indeed, Shavalova missed this. Can we go back here for a moment? I know the action is still continuing here. I think that here White had excellent winning chances if she had continued, not King C7, but what was it? Bishop G5, King takes on E5, but where's the win actually? Engine says there's no win.
Bishop back, maybe?
Yeah, I tried to secure the win somehow by doing this, but okay, apparently it doesn't work. Okay, let's move on.
Why it's not winning? King F6, King G6, and then F5 or something like that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's move on. Knights on the board, an extra pawn, and we have here Black winning.
Wait, but we are going to have no time, I believe, right? Because now after round 12...
we have another break.
We have another break, so let's go back. Let's go back to this game and once again check. Where was the win? I'm quite curious.
Here's some. Maybe it's not winning actually. Maybe it's not so clear.
No, here I think this was a win. Was it? Bishop D2, King E6. Take.
Very dubious to me.
Oh wait, King D4. There you go. King D4.
And then I take on Bishop F6 and then you do the same.
Yeah, and after F6, take it here. King C5, I march it here, and if you go here, I collect this pawn, and I guess it's winning. I'm not entirely sure. Those bishop endgames are really tricky.
This is just push the pawn G5 here, and that's winning.
I mean, when you're playing a blitz game with +1 second, good luck trying to figure it out. Anyway, the round 12 is over, and we have still the sole leader, Corey Daisy, with 10 points, followed by no less but 5 players, Tokajonova, Bodnaruk, Shavalova, and Tatev Abrahamyan, with also, I think I forgot.
What we can see here is that Corey Daisy has almost secured the first place, but still this is not done. If she loses 2 last rounds, it will be still a chance for these other players to catch her up. But that's what if, and all these sections of what if we're gonna see in about 5 minutes, guys. We're taking very last break for today, and we will be back shortly after that. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna see now final 8 players who will qualify to the knockouts.
Will.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Women's Spitz Chess Championship 2023 qualifiers, and we are in the final 2 rounds. Kathy and Arthur's here for you in the studio. Arthur's, we have seen a lot of dramas, and we have one solid leader. What are you expecting in the last 2 rounds?
More action, my adrenaline levels are up the sky really, because it's so tough to follow some of the games. There's so much action, blunders, insane mouse slips, heartbreaks. I mean, you can't really wish for more. And I think that the last 2 rounds, when there's going to be a very desperate fight for the top 8 places who qualify for tomorrow's knockout stage, this is going to be really, really tense, right? And right now, Corey Daisy is in a perfect spot to secure this place in tomorrow's knockout. I think she already made it, Katie, but everybody else is totally not feeling safe.
Not feeling safe. And few seconds before the start of the round, we can very quickly take a look what is on the stake for today. And here we have $500 per each qualifiers here, 2 qualifiers, and also the qualification seat. And as we now start the next round, round 13, we are going to focus on leaders' games.
I mean, let's see how this game progresses. At some point, I think I also want to jump to the second board where Tata Abrahamyan is playing against Polina Shvalova, right? Could be also a very interesting matchup. On the third board, we have 2 very high-seeded players, Gulrubekim Tokirjanova playing against Afruza Kamdanova. Fourth board, Bodnaruk playing against Dinara Wagner. Very difficult to choose, but okay, let's stick with the leaders fight, at least for the moment.
At least for the moment, but also Daisy has already qualified to top 8, so she's in the safest spot out of everyone here. But yeah, seems like it's her turn, and I'm sure she's going to win as many games as possible here. Knight to e7 with Ida to play f5, castle f5, and to start some kind of kingside attack. Maybe that's her hope and plan here in this opening.
She's going to try to play it safe, and maybe also for Daisy, she wants to play it a bit safer because she doesn't need to win desperately. She has a 1.5 point margin compared to the second place. Of course, she wants to qualify for the top 4 because this is something we already discussed. You get basically more lives for the knockout tournament tomorrow. You want to start the action in the winner's bracket. But there's also, of course, the prize. Minor little detail we should not be forgetting.
Yeah, not so little detail, but quite nice. Quite nice price for one day event for 3 hours. I think it's very nice, especially when you're a good blitz player. I think that's a very good chance. And here we have the trade of the pawns on d5 and the isolated pawn on d4, which is blockaded and also attacked by 2 of the minor pieces. Bishop knight to f5 is another piece that will attack this pawn on d4. Somehow I already like here black's position.
And this is precisely the reason, Katie, why I suggest to go to the second board, because I'm seeing some crazy action here. If I may, let's go back to this board where Abrahamyan apparently just made a blunder, but I had a feeling something is bound to happen in this position because Abrahamyan has positioned the king on the queen side, Shvalova has positioned the king on the king side, and this means bring it on, right? Because somebody is going to start a decisive attack very soon.
Yeah, that's true, but to me it seems like it will not be a draw here in this position. Queen to f5? Check and the bishop is hanging.
It seems this was a blunder by Abrahamyan. She blundered the bishop on f4. She still is alive because also black's bishop on b4 was under attack. Black simply collects all the pawns. Somehow things went really south here for the American woman grandmaster because, I mean, if I may just go back here, when I was looking at this position a couple of months ago, here, right? This was looking really promising for white. You have these 2 bishops here on d3, e3, the knight on h5, some g4 ideas, right? Looked really promising. And yeah, this knight f4 was, the next move she made was a really bad move.
Yeah, that's actually true. Queen already on e2, and there's also some sort of issues on the back rank, so white has to watch out a little bit. of some kind of traps there, and the pawn is also hanging on g2, but this can actually give some counterplay to white on the g file. I like this move, rook to e3, and maybe now rook to e8 to just increase the pressure on e file.
All right, and I'm gonna make another jump because I'm looking for this excitement. Probably the last time. And this is one of the leader fights of Anastasia Bodnaruk playing against Dinara Wagner and Katy. I mean, this bishop on a2, doesn't it really give white excellent winning chances?
Yeah, that's actually true. Wait a moment. Wait a moment.
It's just so tough to choose between the games, right? At least at the moment, what I'm seeing is what's happening on the top boards is that Daisy Corey is completely safe, right? She has an extra pawn in obstacle her bishop. She's, I think, on the verge of winning the tournament. While the game we just switched away from, Tatev misplayed a position against Polina Shavalova, and Shavalova is going to win this. Now, this is the game which probably is going to bring more action.
Yeah, that's right. c3 has been just played maybe to avoid any kind of bishop e2 or whatever, this kind of moves possible, just to limit the bishop on f6. Is there a rook to e6 move, Arthur's here, or it's too much?
Ooh, rook e6, f takes, queen takes on f6, bishop takes on e6. Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I would just play a bit safe, something like g3, king g2, go away from any potential attacks, any checks, right? Because with obstacle bishops, I mean, you have to be really careful, because if there's a direct attack, bishop e6.
Bishop e6 covering, just cutting the 6th rank. And now bishop
We
to
might actually
c4.
see your rook e6 idea, Katy.
There should be some sort of break, and maybe that's the move.
Okay, I think it's quite obvious that Bodnaruk now is completely winning something which was looking to be quite a sharp position. Now she has 2 extra pawns, but it's the clock. It's the clock. I mean, it's 14 seconds only for Bodnaruk versus 40 seconds for Dinara. b5. Was this a missed opportunity? Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. This is not over yet.
But why not bishop to c4? Rook e2, cutting the 2nd rank. Oh, that's the blunder! What's the blunder?
And the game is alive. Just like that.
What was the blunder there? Just the pawn on f4? I thought
And now black is going to take over the game, Katy. Rook h6, look at this. Now suddenly it's black who has the attacking chances here.
Yeah, that's right, actually. And all the black pieces are just looking so promising. Bishop to d4. Right now, I think wins on the spot, the exchange.
Bodnaruk started to blunder basically things as soon as she got in this severe time scramble below 10 seconds.
It was the best move there because back rank is the issue here for white. Beautiful move.
Queen f2. White is alive, of course. Black is not going to trade the queens. 15 seconds.
She has to move the queen. Now
Why
the
does
pawn
she
on
want to
f7
play
is...
g3? Oh.
What's going on?
What was that? What was that? What was that?
Is there nothing? Oh, it's the last.
And now white is just winning, right?
It's the last for black.
I mean, it is completely nuts. Just a second.
Why I'm
And
going
king.
for h pawn? No. This is winning, Arthur's, but the king went.
Just before it was drawing, now it's winning. Again, the situation changes so quickly.
Oh, wow.
I will go back to this game, I promise. I will go back to this game, right?
And they are still playing because both are just shocked. Both are just shocked.
In the meantime, Corey Daisy has won her game and she is now officially winning this qualifier. And that means that she has made it to the winner's bracket for the qualifying knockout tournament tomorrow. Also, Polina Shavalova has managed to beat her opponent.
What a game. What a game. So many blunders, so many ups and downs. Arthur's, shall we see the other game or just see what just happened there in that position?
Yeah, just a second. Okay. So where was this craziness, absolute craziness of Bodnaruk against Dinara Wagner, because I have a feeling you could make an entire movie out of this. Just a second. So it was here, right? It was here. Bishop takes an f7. It already feels very dangerous because there's all kinds of bishop e5 ideas, threatening with rook takes on h2, whatnot. And apparently Dinara had the idea to deliver a mate. I think she simply missed from afar that a white can defend and will defend with rook f2. The only legal move which makes sense. Apparently here, king h5
But
was
hold
a
on,
mistake.
hold on. Very, very simple question. Why not king f3, king e3 and push that pawn?
Beats me. I don't know. Now I played instead king h5 and is
And
this
king
a draw?
d4, king d3?
Here?
And king e4?
Here? Yeah.
King e4. Okay, that's
Precisely.
also yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this would have been a draw, but okay, the next round already starting, and we have to jump into the action of the final round. I think we are going to follow the game of maybe the second board, because Corey Daisy is officially the winner. She has 11 points. In the second place, we have Shavalova and Bodnaruk with 9.5 points. Hamdanova and Priyanka Motaki have 9 points, and the race for the final places in the qualifying in the knockout tournament, Katie, is wide open, because there will be potentially a need for the tiebreaks, Katie. Maybe you can explain the tournament system. What happens if there's a tie for the 8th place?
Well, we're gonna have no further matches today. The one who is top 8 players, according to the tiebreaks of Chess.com, will automatically know those qualifiers. So anyone else who is out of 8 will not go to the knockout system, unfortunately.
All right.
I think you had different expectations for me to go. It's the book also.
Yeah, I was expecting that you were gonna know. Listeners, A, B, C, D, E scenario, and ultimately that's
Thank
the
you
player
very
who's
much.
Okay, thank you.
All
right, what do we have here? White has the better position, right? Just play something like d4, open up the bishop on c2. Looks promising. d4 is on the board. The bar hates it, as usual.
d4 is on the board. I like this move to open up the center, potentially also the b1, h7 diagonal.
Gonna be fancy with knight e6. Probably it's too fancy. Queen d6, queen f7, almost a mate. No, not a mate. That's why knight g3 is played. Queen f6. Black appears to be quite solid. There's a very serious pressure on the pawn on d4. This is a very, very important fight for Polina. I guess it's important. Maybe she already has qualified, actually, I'm thinking. I think she has qualified, but for black, for Afruza, this is live or die scenario.
Well, the thing is that, for instance, she has 9.5, and then we have Bagim, who had 7 out of 7, right? And her tiebreak seems to be better, and she has 8.5. So if she wins and Polina loses, there will be some competition between these two. But yeah, I agree, it will not be that much of the players, so she won't be out of the top 8.
All right. Now white appears to be quite safe. E takes on d4. Black tries to complicate the matters so that there's some pressure on the pawn on e4. I was hoping maybe c5 is going to be moved. No, black trades the bishops.
c5 is the move that has been played. Is there a possibility to play e5, pawn takes e5, and then to take c5 pawn and potentially to play b4 and to have this passed pawn?
Maybe. Okay, d takes on c5 is played. e5, knight e5. The game is heating up. I guess white wants to play knight e4, knight e6, knight c5.
Oh, that's good.
Wait.
Takes first, rook takes also, and then you can play safely. Unless black takes with the bishop, that actually what happened. I like black's position here.
I mean, at the stakes here, again, it's not only the qualifying, it's the qualification for the knockouts tournament winners or losers bracket. Because the winners bracket, they have, we already mentioned this, basically one extra life when it comes to the knockout. Because if you are in top 4, you qualify for the a knockout for tomorrow, and then you lose one of the matches in the knockout, you're still eligible to continue the tournament in the losers bracket. You get to continue, and that's why it's very, very important for the players to finish in top 4. That's why Shavalova, she doesn't want to lose, obviously, and drop to the 5th place. That would be really bad.
She's just losing now. She dropped the pawn on e5, and probably she thought knight f5, and that's a blunder, another blunder of the
you mean
board.
knight f5, rook f5? This is what she blundered, yeah?
Yeah, bishop, and then pawn takes, and two pieces versus rook. That's very big chances for black.
This could be really a costly mistake. Of course, white is still not dead lost yet. Shavalova had a rough start. She started 3 points out of 5, then she managed to recover. Right now, she is in the 2nd place, but things are looking really dismal for her, and also excellent chances for Afruza to fight for the top 4.
That's right. Maybe black has to play somewhere h5 and king to f6 to make sure that the rook on e5 is no longer hanging. However, rook moved away from e-file, and there's no more danger for black's rook. Rook to c5 with idea b4, c3 or c3 right away. That's black's plan here in this position.
Update from other games. I see that Bodnaruk has a winning position against Tatev Abrahamyan. So Bodnaruk is safe to qualify, and for Abrahamyan this might be pretty bad news because right now she's on the 7th place. Not looking good for the American
anyone
player.
who wins below her will take over. So, but she had such a nice run, and she beat the sole leaders 2 rounds in a row. So that could be really heartbreaking if she's not qualifying. But yeah, seems like that was a little bit unluck at some point for her. In this position, Arthur, so I feel like black has to start to put the king in somewhere in the center. Although you might say, watch out, there is a knight on the board. It might be some sort of forks, but you need king in the end game to win the game.
Indeed. So, I'm resisting temptation, Katie. I'm looking at a game of Corey Daisy against Priyanka Nutaki, and I'm wondering, should we go to that position or not? Because it's completely nutcase what's happening there.
Let's go there. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
Okay, what is this?
I have no idea.
How do you even get here? And have something like 6 seconds on the clock. I mean, of course, Corey has already won the tournament, but this is fun. And black, of course, is going all in and try to, deliver something at the king side. Knight h6 apparently was a big blunder.
Why is that? Oh, take on d4, probably?
Wait, rook takes on e3. Rook takes on e3. There was such a possibility.
E3. That's easy to blunder, actually.
Yeah,
Rook
of course,
f5
the game
now?
is...
Rook h5? Oh, and rook g5? Oh, no. I'm blundering left and right.
The game is, of course, still very wild, but the players are down on 5 seconds. Very easy to misplay this. King g7 were the winning blow. Is it rook e3? No, queen e5, rook f6. How do you continue here? I don't see... Oh, and here she loses some time.
Wow, Priyanka won this. What a
major
fight.
victory for Priyanka. And she catapults herself in top 4. I mean, it completely, according to the engine, lost position. Okay.
That's crazy. That is crazy. And Arthur, I see that
what a way to conclude the tournament, right?
Right.
The top boards are over, and I think it's safe to say, unless there's the tie breaks which are changing for the top players, that Corey Daisy, Anastasia Bodnaruk, Polina Shavalova, and Priyanka Nutaki with this crazy comeback in the seconds from a dead lost position where Corey was trying to figure out the details. She manages to win on time and qualify for the top 4 or the winner's bracket. So who qualified for the loser's bracket?
Oh, that's very interesting. So from losers brackets are starting from 5th place. So we have Bagim here. We have Pam, Afruza, and Dinara Wagner. Those are the players who goes tomorrow for the knockouts. The losers brackets. And the top three, as you mentioned, Corey Daisy, Anastasia Bodnaruk, Polina Shavalova, and Priyanka Nutaki. This is the player we have not seen the game. It was only the last game that we saw, right?
I mean, this game is completely nuts, of course, and here White missed a killing blow. This is what we wanted to show you. Rook takes on e3 as this queen on g7 was pinned, and there were many mistakes. It was totally crazy. And here, while trying to figure out the details in a time scramble, Corey simply forgot about the clock. But okay, she still wins the tournament.
She still wins the tournament. And Arthur's, is there any game besides this one? Last one was super crazy. Is there any game that just comes right now to your mind? We have seen so many ups and downs, so many blunders, and so on. You can name any of these, or maybe the chess player who was the most impressive for you?
I mean, it's very difficult to forget Kitty Tokarjonova's victory, which she won by sacrificing a queen in a very bad position in opening phase, a queen for 2 minor pieces, which we said there's no way she's coming back. Well, she did. She came back and she won the game against, who was it? I really don't remember. Round 7. Who did she play against round 7? Let me check very quickly.
Was it?
Round 7. She
was 94?
against Bodnaruk. I think it was against Bodnaruk. Yeah, this completely crazy game, and I'm very happy that we got a chance to cover this exciting tournament because, I mean, the games did not really disappoint, and I think this was a very nice warm up before the main meal, which is coming tomorrow.
Well, then I thought you were talking about the main meal, this one. Here. So here we have the top 6 players waiting for 2 qualifiers. Tomorrow we will already know who will be the top 2 players in knockout system. And here we have all these ladies waiting for the start of the action, which will start on 13th of November up to 22, and it's gonna be crazy time format, a little bit different from this one. And Arthurs, I think it's also time to take a look what can happen in the knockout system tomorrow. What we gonna see tomorrow? This is the format.
Yeah, this is where things get really interesting. So you think today was exciting? Wait for tomorrow, because tomorrow there's gonna be the knockout, which usually promises a lot of adrenaline pumping action. Double elimination bracket. What does it mean? It means that those players who qualified in top 4, they have to be eliminated twice, right? If one of them lose their matches early on, they get relegated to the losers bracket. They still have a chance to fight to qualify for the main event. Those players who finished from the 5th to 8th place, they can't afford to lose the match. And of course, 2 top players from both brackets, the winners bracket and the losers bracket, qualify for the main event.
Yeah, and what is really exciting tomorrow is the time control, Arthurs. And we're gonna have actually 3 different segments: 5+1, 3+1, and the most crazy 1+1. Which one is your favorite, Arthurs?
I'm not really sure. What I really love is that this is a proven formula that Chess.com has been using for years in the Speeches Championships, that if somebody is clearly the better player in the 5-minute or 3-minute section, things very often dramatically change in the so-called bullet portion. So I would say this feels like a prelude, like an appetizer, right? What's about to happen in the main event, because the viewers, I'm sure you're really well aware what is the traditional system of the main event, that there's usually a longer time for 5+1, 3+1, 1+1. So yeah, it just feels like warming up for the main action.
Yeah, that is right. So actually it has been crazy day, as Arthur has mentioned. We have seen way too much. We have seen blunders, we have seen flying as well, we have seen tactics, and a lot of emotions on the board. Thank you so much, Arthurs, for your expert commentary for these games, and also big thanks to our chat who were following us and joining us, and of course
I think we have to thank the sponsor, right? I mean, Julius Baer, who made this event possible, being one of the greatest supporters of chess lately. So it's really wonderful that they are finding this opportunity to support women chess. Thank you.
That is right. And Arthurs, we are inviting everyone tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central European Time. Knockout system will start. You don't want to miss that. 8 players will fight for top 2 places. And please join us at 3 p.m. And I think it's final goodbye from us.
Hope you liked it. Have a great day. We'll be seeing you tomorrow.